So, welcome to the newest Genesys RPG community actual play. Tonight we're playing an adventure titled The Mechanical Men of the Mines of Maar. This adventure uses the Solar Republic mini setting included in Boost 6, the latest Genesys RPG community magazine. Boost 6, like the previous editions 1 through 5, can be downloaded for free through the Genesys Foundry on drivethrurpg.com. I'm Ryle. I'll be the GM tonight. I've been role-playing for a little over 30 years now and have quite a bit of experience with Genesys as well as its precursor, FFG Star Wars RPG. I am joined by 3 players at the moment, hopefully a 4th soon. Bremen, Shane, and Sheldon. So far, Mark might be joining us a bit later. Why don't we go around and so Bremen, could you tell us a little bit about your experience with Genesys or role-playing in general, and who will you be playing tonight?
Yeah. So I've been playing Genesys now for about 2 years-ish. Just been playing it on and off, but every time I've played it, it's been a blast. And I've been role-playing with my family since I was like a small child, and I don't exactly remember when that was, but I'm still kind of a small child. And yeah, hopefully I'll continue to have good experiences as I get older. Oh, and yeah, I'm playing Onyx Mark IV, who is the chief pilot of the Wake, and he's a robot, and he might be sentient, but we'll just have to find out, I guess.
Awesome. I really like the picture you chose for Onyx. He looks pretty badass. Shane, can you tell us about your relationship with role-playing and Genesys specifically?
Sure, no problem. Relationship's generally good, sometimes rocky. Yeah, Shane Ruman. I have been playing Genesys. Well, playing Genesys, probably not at all. I do own a lot of books, and I did GM a FFG Star Wars campaign for about 1.5 years, which I had a ton of fun with. Since then, I've always loved the system and kind of been looking for another opportunity to play. So I'll jump back in there. Role-playing wise, well, 41 years of role-playing, so there's that. And I will be playing Gil X. Munson, the ship's agent for the Nereid's Wake.
Awesome. And you're using the Phibian species from the boost as well, correct?
Absolutely. Looks like a really interesting one, and I snapped up the chance to try it.
Very cool. All right, and so I guess finally, Sheldon, what brings you to the table tonight?
Yeah, well, it's another opportunity to play Genesys, which is really fun, and another opportunity to play with you, Ryle, which was also super cool. And I guess I've been playing role-playing games. I started when I was, I guess, probably about 30 or 35 years ago as well. And Genesys, I did play a little bit of Star Wars FFG system first, and then got into Genesys. And I guess maybe just a bit of a shout out to the One Shot Network podcast, and that that's where I got hooked into the Genesys system, was listening to those podcasts, One Shot and the campaign podcast. And I am going to be playing Dr. Barl Trango, and he's the chief medical officer aboard Nereid's Wake. He's fairly new to the Wake, but he's found maybe a new crew that he can get used to and call family someday.
Awesome. And I will also endorse the one-shot campaigns. Campaign itself was the first one. The Star Wars one was incredibly funny, and the one they're doing now is really interesting too. Like, it's an awesome setting.
A little more dramatic, but the Star Wars one is hilarious.
I totally agree. All right. Well, when and if Mark joins us, we'll hear from him as well. But for now, I think it sounds like we have a really great group. So a note about theme and like sort of the concept of an X card. And if you're not familiar with an X card, it's a way for players to sort of communicate that they're uncomfortable with the content of a current scene or what's going on at the moment in the game. So for tonight's adventure, the characters will be at risk, and there's elements of violence and maybe a little body horror. If anyone's uncomfortable in a scene or an encounter and wants it to end or wants to move on, just shoot me a DM on Discord. You can even just type an X and send it. You don't have to go into details. And I'll resolve the scene, quickly. I'll kind of like fade out maybe, or maybe just with a single roll, we'll sort of resolve the scene and then we'll fade back in the next. And we're using RPG sessions for our game table tonight, and I highly recommend it for anyone who's running Genesys. And that sums up the beginning. So let's begin. The mechanical men of the mines of Maar. The Nereid's wake is carrying a valuable cargo. Several crates of hypertransistors and microvacuoles vital for the production of high-performance robots are bound for the mining and manufacturing outpost on the moon of Maar. It's an important run, as the wake's provisions are growing uncomfortably thin. A nasty encounter with pirates some months ago depleted the ship's funds for repairs, and the crew is anxious for a profitable turn. It's taken about 3 weeks for the ship to near the inner system of Alpha Mensae. The wake is about a day out of Maar, which is a moon of the gas giant Kanza, orbiting the smaller of the two stars in this binary system. And we find ourselves on the bridge of the Nereid's wake, where the rattles and beeps of machinery create a comforting landscape of sound. The ship's agent, Munson, is giving a final briefing to the captain, and Dr. Trango is waiting nearby for his turn to give a briefing of his own. So the captain, his eyes on Munson, who's just joined the crew a few months before, says, so do you have a final update for me?
I do, Captain. I do. Looking over these manifests and what we got in the cargo, I think we got a real winner here, Captain. The Maar Mechanics Company, they need these hypertransistors. They need these microvacuoles. I'd say we could squeeze them for 50 easy, and we should probably try for a little more.
Well, that sounds great. Yeah, that'll be a great boon to the ship. I must say that takes a bit of tension out of my frame, hearing there might be a good payday in it for the wake.
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear you're glad, Captain. Whatever I can do for the ship.
Well, I'm glad we voted to bring you aboard. It seems like you're going to be a fine addition to the crew. Doctor, I see you waiting there. Do you have something you'd like to say?
Well, I just think that this moon could potentially pose some problems for our landing crew. Going down to the moon because there's a risk of some sulfur dioxide poisoning. So everybody's got to be really careful about that. Okay, everybody, and I can help. I'm sure we can figure it out. Don't worry, everything will be fine. But we do need to worry. So let's worry about that. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I suppose we'll need to include you in the landing party then, to be sure that all our crew is kept safe.
Yeah, there's risk. So we got to be safe.
Well, thank you for volunteering.
No. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Sounds good, I guess.
Just then, there's a beep from the panel in front of the pilot, Onyx. Onyx, you see there's a notice from the sensors. Could you give me an average perception check?
Sure thing.
So for this first roll, let's just sort of describe how a check works, just in case anyone's joining in to listen for how to play Genesys. The way you make a roll is you start with your characteristic. And so what's your characteristic?
So my characteristic would be cunning for perception. My characteristic is 1 in cunning. Robots are not very cunning.
And then so that'll be upgraded by your ranks in perception.
Which is 0. Robot technology is not quite there yet. And this is an average roll, so I'll be adding 2 difficulty dice.
You do, of course, have 4 story points if you'd like to spend any on the roll.
Well, not yet. We'll save those for later.
And the sensors on this ship are well crafted, so you can get a boost die from that.
2 failures is the result.
Ooh, okay. That's okay. So, so your panel's beeping. And what does it look like when you operate the panel in front of you?
Right now, I think that just given this roll, Onyx is not paying attention to his panel. He's actually just staring straight forward and seems to be focused on something. but not the panel, which is his job. Yeah, he's just sitting at the panel, and his hands are just rested on his legs, and he's staring straight forward, not paying attention, processing something.
So, hearing that annoying beeping, the captain sort of frowns and says, "Onyx, what's that all about?"
Captain, it seems the sensors have noticed something, Captain. Back to processing.
So the captain's going to call over to the operations station and ask the person stationed there to help out. So they begin typing, flipping switches and pressing buttons. But before they're able to target the sensors in properly, something looms ahead of you. Now you're traveling very quickly. We're going to have you at speed 3, and you'll need to make a dangerous driving check.
Okay.
So the size of the ship is 4. That's going to upgrade the difficulty once.
Okay. So I would use my piloting skill?
Yes.
Okay.
And so speed 3 upgraded once, 1 red and 2 purple.
And I'm trying to avoid this object?
Yeah, so you're coming in hot into the inner system. The ship's been powering on in. You've come down off of the fusion drive as you've gotten closer in toward the heart of the planets orbiting the red dwarf, but you're still moving pretty quick. And yeah, something's leering up ahead. You sort of see it on your tiny little view screen embedded into the panel in front of you.
Okay. So yeah, Onyx's mechanical head snaps down as soon as he notices the screen and starts frantically pressing buttons and moving dials, but not successfully.
Oh, okay. You feel a jolt through the ship as the ship collides with something. We're going to reduce the speed to 2 automatically from the collision.
After Gil stands up, he's gonna whisper to Barl. Now, Barl, remind me, did he come with the ship? Is that why we have him?
Yeah, he's been here. He's been here longer than I have, so I assume Captain knows what he's doing. I don't know.
So let's get an athletics or coordination check from Barl and Gil, since you guys are standing near the captain's chair and not like seated like everyone else. The difficult, I think it said average, right?
Average?
Yeah, if I didn't say an average. So Gil, it'll just be 2 purple to add to that roll.
Oh, okay, I'll redo.
So Barl succeeded on his roll, and Gil failed with 1 threat. So Barl, you succeeded with 1 threat. Gil failed with 1 threat. Gil, you're just going to take 1 wound as you fall hard on the deck and sort of bang your elbow against one of the consoles, and also 1 strain from that threat as well. And Barl, I'll inflict a strain on you with the threat that you suffered as well, or that you generated.
Onyx Mark IV, what is going on? Gil, are you okay?
I'll be all right. Just a mite banged up, but what's going on out there?
We have made a collision. Calculating new course.
The captain says, Onyx, bring us to a full stop.
Okay. So do I need to make a check for that?
No, as a maneuver, you can reduce the speed. You were at 3. The collision reduced you to 2. Unless you have a...
Yeah, I do actually. I can use my talent hand on the throttle to as an incidental increase or decrease the speed by 1. So I'll use my maneuver and my incidental, I suppose, to decrease the speed to full stop.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, Mark was just texting me. I believe he's just joined us.
Oh, there he is.
Hello, Mark.
Hello. Sorry about that.
Hi,
I
Mark.
did bad time math.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking 2000, so that's midnight minus 4 hours, and I came up with 9 instead of 7 for my time period.
That's why I always take off my shoes when I'm doing arithmetic. Well, welcome, Mark. Well, we've already started.
Yep.
We've introduced all our characters. Do you want to just briefly talk about? I know we're throwing you in real quick,
All good.
but do you want to just briefly talk about sort of your experience with role-playing games in Genesys and who you'll be playing tonight?
Oh, role-playing game-wise, I've played since probably 1992. Start off with the red box that we found in my brother's attic, and went on to second ed. Didn't really start GMing or until I was in college, where I ran live action LARP, vampire LARP, and ran that for many years in college. Probably had, man, I had a huge group. It was 90 plus players with 70 regular players. It was crazy.
Yeah, that does sound. I think I had a similar experience in high school.
Yeah, and then after college, I really stopped playing for a long time until Star Wars and Genesis came out, and it's like, okay, I got the Star Wars book. It's like I have to play this, and didn't really do a good job of doing that. But once Genesis came out, I started playing that and got a relationship with my current partner, we're getting married 2 weeks,
Congratulations.
Mazel tov.
and I started running Genesis for the kids.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about the character you'll be playing tonight?
Oh, Gavin Lockheed is, let's say he's younger. Let's say he's 28. So Gavin's birth name is Harless Gavin Lockhearth, but he goes by Gavin Lockheed. He was born to one of the concubines of Harless, the despot of Bordun. As soon as she was pregnant, she fled. His grandfather still works for Harless as an advisor, and really they just dropped off the radar.
So this secret past, does Gavin even know who his true father is?
No, he does not. He does know his grandfather works for Harless, the despot.
And then, so just to speak a little bit about the way the Nereid's Wake is run, it's owned by the crew. So everyone gets a share of the profit, and based on your rank aboard ship, you get a larger share. And then the senior staff are responsible for making the sort of long-range decisions for the ship. So they'll review hiring, and then they also decide senior staff promotions. So to become captain, you have to be voted into that position, which was true for Gavin.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's been captain for only a few months now, so he's still proving himself.
Yep. Gavin had left the ship that he grew up on a few years ago and joined this crew. He's probably been working on this crew for the last few years. And yeah.
So to just let you know where we're at right now, Nereid's Wake was streaming in system to their destination. The captain was receiving final briefings from Munson about the cargo and from the doctor about the potential danger of sulfur dioxide poisoning on the moon, when unfortunately Onyx was not able to apply the sensors in time to avoid a collision. And so the ship has just collided with something else. And when you joined us, Onyx was about to explain how he's slowing the ship down.
Okay. Sounds great.
Yeah, Onyx is a little bit jostled about, but he's pretty heavy, so he sits still as the ship jostles, and he moves some dials all the way up, and then everyone kind of jolts forward and then jolts back as the whole ship comes to an abrupt stop.
All right, there's a moment of stillness as the bridge crew gathers themselves. So Gil and the doctor have been thrown to the deck plating below.
Should I make a coordination check?
Well, fortunately, you were sitting in your fancy captain's chair.
Ah.
So even though there's no seatbelts aboard the Wake, you weren't thrown from it. If someone would like to get to a station, they can check the sensors and see if they can figure out what you guys collided with. It would be an average perception check for anyone wishing to make that roll.
Sure. I'll hop on over, as it were, and start trying to check the sisters.
Hop on over. Are you going to do a lot of hopping on over in the course of
I'll try not to, but yes.
So Gil does very much look like a frog. So Gil, with your roll, I see you got 1 success and 1 threat. So Gil, as you are operating the sensors, and what you're seeing is sort of like a ticker tape printout from the console you're working with. You've got experience operating. You've been aboard ships for quite some time now, so the shorthand that prints out makes perfect sense to you, and what you see gives you a bit of a jolt. So we're going to do one more strain for that threat.
Yeah, I bumped out the 2.
And what you see is a derelict ship floating nearby, dangerously close to the wake. You're also surrounded by sort of a cloud of debris. You're able to put the sensor display up onto one of the tiny monitors nearby, the sort of curved, blown glass, old school TV monitors that some of us probably remember from our youth. You have to adjust the knob on the side to get the hold just right. You see some lines flicking up and down on the screen until you're able to zero it in.
If it's color, it must be the future.
Barrel walks over. Barrel wants to walk over there. Walk over to Gil. Is the ship okay? Did we take damage?
I don't believe so, but it appears we've hit some sort of unfortunately abandoned ship or just floating out here, Captain. You ever see anything the like?
Any life signs on that thing?
With that sensor roll, you do detect some fluctuating power signatures. The ship largely looks dark, but the fluctuations you're seeing do appear to be in the life support system.
Difficult to tell. If there are, they might be in trouble. The life support systems are might flaky.
How's our away teams looking? Do we have a specialized crew for this?
Well, I think that all of you are sort of at the place in your career where you're wanting to prove yourselves.
So the bridge is the away team?
I mean, it's up to the captain, right? He's going to assign the away team. But
red uniforms are just right over there. Let's get them on it.
Captain, do we need to go to the moon though, or I mean, I know the moon is dangerous. There's sulfur poisoning that could happen to each and every one of us if we go down there. But even going over to this derelict ship could be a dangerous thing. I mean, I'm up for a challenge, but what do you think, Captain?
I think we have to. We have to prove ourselves. We are the crew of... Damn it.
the Nereid's wake.
The Nereid's wake.
That's my captain right there. Would Gil know the salvage laws in this system? Like, could we take whatever we got there, or even the ship? Would that be legal?
Yeah. Why don't you give me an average streetwise check?
Space is my street.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh, very cool. So 2 successes, 2 threats, and a triumph. So this sector of space, a found ship, a derelict ship, is open to salvage. You'll just have to register it with the local authority that your claim. But you can, if you find a derelict ship, you can take supplies from it.
Gentlemen, as you know, those pirates diminished our supplies greatly. Anything we find over there is legally ours.
Onyx, could the ship handle towing this out of system or out of danger?
GM, can this ship tow?
So we're going to use these 2 threats here. Gil, as you're searching your memory about the laws in this sector, your eyes sort of glance down at the screen showing the derelict, sort of slightly tumbling ship, and you see that there is an array of debris between the 2 ships. It's going to be a difficult to get over there, and you won't be able to dock the 2 ships without somehow bringing that tumble to a stop. So you're going to have to activate the retro rockets over there on the other ship.
Nice. And can we use the triumph for payoff? Can we push it forward to increasing whatever we get over there for the ships?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that. All right. So something else of extra value aboard the ship?
Gil must recognize something about the ship, and he's like, yeah, we got to get over there. There's money there.
It's the famous ghost ship of Maar. I heard all about it as a youth in the swamps of Gris.
Well, Gil, with your experience doing, with cargo and you recognize this as a cargo ship. It's an Ichitukni class cargo ship, and you know that for a cargo ship, they're actually pretty well armed. Standard armament would be 2 torpedo bays and a dorsal mounted flare lens. So there's probably some pricey torpedoes to bring back over there.
Okay, so Onyx is, while everyone's talking, just calculating what it would take to get over to the other ship, and he's just staring forward again, calculating. And then I want to ask you, Ryle, is it at all possible to get over there, or would it just be difficult?
So it would take a dangerous driving check.
Okay.
But it's probably a little too difficult for the vessel, for the Nereid's Wake, to match the spin.
Right.
So you'll want to go over on a shuttlecraft.
And we have shuttlecrafts?
You have 2 actually.
Okay. So Onyx pipes up and says, "Captain, I highly suggest that we board the shuttlecrafts and board the derelict ship via the shuttlecrafts. I will make my way to the shuttlecrafts at your request."
Crew, call in your seconds. Let's go ahead and get down there ourselves.
Sounds great, Captain. I'm with you.
All right, that leaves me with the frog.
Fabian, please, but
Amphibian.
So I went ahead and posted into the chat a link to the sheet for the shuttlecraft siren.
The name is Siren, or the shuttlecraft's siren?
The name is Siren.
Okay.
It's a saucer class shuttle.
Nice.
Captain, do we have any grab sleds or loader bots or something that can help us ferry our hopefully voluminous amounts of loot back?
Should I make a knowledge, like my ship check, or yeah, we just know?
You can't
well,
remember its name. You might have to.
Well, you definitely have the right equipment for moving stuff aboard ship, but getting it on board the shuttle, getting it over to the other craft might be a little difficult, especially if you're going to be bringing back a lot of stuff. Although, honestly, once you slow that ship's roll down, you should be able to dock the Nereid's Wake to the other vessel.
Got it. We shouldn't need to unload onto the siren. We should just be able to slow it down enough and get the Nereid over there.
Great.
Okay, so I assume we make our way, the 4 of us, down to the shuttles?
Arl's got his medical kit and his field meter. He's ready to go.
So just to set the scene a little, now that you're at full stop, the engines aren't moving. There's no gravity or microgravity aboard the ship. So moving down passageways, of course, you're going from handhold to handhold, kicking yourself from bulkhead to bulkhead.
Excellent.
If you do get into some situation where you need to make physical checks, that'll add 2 black dice to any brawn or agility checks that you make. But you arrive in the shuttle bay. There's like a sort of umbilical that connects the shuttles to the ship. You're able to all easily slide aboard.
So are we all in the same shuttlecraft, or did we go into 2 different ones?
Yeah, these shuttles hold 6. They can hold up to 6.
Okay.
Excellent.
Never mind, we're all together.
Excellent.
So as you pull back away from the Nereid's Wake, you hear like the light tapping of debris against the outer hull of the siren, and then Onyx sort of rotates the craft so you have a view of this cargo vessel, which is sort of ominous and dark against a starfield behind. In the distance you can see the red glow of the red dwarf. And Onyx, you'll need to give me a difficult driving check. Up to you what speed you want to move. You only really need to go 1 to get over there.
Okay, yeah. Onyx is moving at 1 speed.
1 second. I'm going to give you some really awesome directions.
Okay. Waiting directions, Captain.
Let's see here. It is Inspiring Riddick. Okay, it is a 2 difficulty leadership check. And I'm wearing my command shirts for my boost dice. Anything you would like to do with this?
No, I don't think there's any penalties to this roll.
What's 6? 2 advantages, 1 triumph.
Super inspiring directions.
As I stand next to you, avoid that rock. No, not that rock. That rock.
So there'll be 2 black dice on the roll. for the debris field. And then
Oh, Captain, that was beautiful, Captain.
Onyx is crying whale.
And then the base difficulty is 3 for the silhouette of the vehicle, and no upgrade for speed if you're traveling at speed 1.
Okay. And what do I add from Captain Lockheed's excellent directions?
You get 1 boost dice, and I'm going to use that triumph to upgrade you.
Nice. Okay. And because this is a piloting check, and Onyx actually has the talent to remove 2 black dice from all piloting checks.
Brag.
So Onyx has. What's that?
He said brag.
Oh, I said brag. Yeah.
Yeah. So Onyx has run through this exact situation many times in his processors, except for that one rock. But thankfully, his dear captain has.
You got to roll the dice first here and see.
Well,
Oh,
there it is. Yeah.
Very nice.
His dear captain has indeed allowed him to avoid that rock.
nice.
So 1 success and 1 triumph. Very cool. Mark, did you use those to advantage? I'm sorry if I missed that.
The advantage, I can spend the advantage to. You also healed strain if you were done strain, Onyx.
Oh, I was not. So.
Okay, well, I think the advantage will. I have no strain. I can't heal anybody else's strain.
You're welcome to use advantage to sort of change the
Why
narrative.
don't we do it again? Why don't we make it just a little bit more? Wait, look at that ship. Is that gilded letters on the side? They're using gold as decoration.
What the heck is this ship?
Well,
Are you
yeah,
cool
I
with
think
that?
one. Yeah. Well, so you're trying to increase sort of what the hull might be from the ship, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So one thing you see is the name of the vessel, which is Buenaventura. You see it scrawled across the side. You also see that the port torpedo bay has blown out and kind of ripped open the side of the hull. And you can kind of see into some of the surrounding compartments, which experienced explosive decompression. You do see a little bit of spray of gases from some of the piping that you can see through that hole in the side of the hull. So the life support does seem to be active on the rest of the ship. And as it's rolling around, to increase the value of the ship, we'll say that you note that the fuel lines are undamaged. So any fuel aboard the ship should be easy to transfer over to your own.
Nice.
Was there time, now that we know the name of the ship, to look it up? I don't know if that's the type of thing the computers can do in this world, but on the shuttle, like maybe a history check on it or something to those effects.
Yeah, I don't think aboard the shuttle there is sort of a large computer on the wake. It takes up like 2 decks.
I do have a triumph here. I don't know if I could use that in some way with regards to that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. All right, so then maybe Onyx, your experience, the last port that you guys were at, you were sort of asking around the other pilots, like maybe you found a bar they like to hang out at. When you were getting information about this system you're headed to, the name of the ship did come up. They mentioned that the Buenaventura had been making a cargo run in this system for quite some time, and had turned quite a tidy profit running sulfur from the mines on Maar over to the large projects to terraform 2 of the planets around the other star.
Okay. Yeah, so Onyx is just going to immediately relay that information just as soon as they come around this big rock that almost takes them out. And those gilded letters of the ship's name. What was the ship's name again? The
Buenaventura.
Buenaventura. And so he sees that, and immediately he says, "Captain, I've interesting information that you would probably like to know." And then he just info dumps that entire thing you just said onto everyone in the shuttlecraft.
Awesome. I'll only make a slight change. What you first thought was a rock is actually that section of hull that was blown off of the ship.
Oh, okay. Yep.
All right. So, as you approach the ship, you're able to, with your successful dangerous driving check there, you're able to match the rotation, and you see three options for docking. There's a port hatch, which is the one closest to where the ship was damaged. There's a starboard docking hatch. And then as the ship turns, you can see that there's a shuttle bay on the back of the ship. The doors to the shuttle bay stand open. And from this angle, it looks like there's no shuttlecraft in the bay.
So Onyx says, Captain, I suggest we dock at the shuttle bay. Awaiting your request.
Request. The captain gives commands. Robot.
Awaiting your command. Okay.
Sorry,
Awaiting your command.
I went mute for a second.
Onyx
Yes.
just keeps saying awaiting
Go.
your command. Okay.
Is
so
it
we dock
working,
at
or
the shuttle
am I
bay.
muted or not?
Nope, we can hear you.
we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
So do I need to make a roll for docking, or is that simple enough?
No, now that you've matched the rotation, you can easily slide the siren into that docking bay.
Okay.
But what the crew finds as you pull into the berth is that there's no power running through the base systems. So someone will need to make an average mechanics check to use the shuttle systems to dock with the base hatch, one of the base hatches.
Yeah, unless anyone volunteers, that's Onyx can do that as well.
Does anyone have any ranks in mechanics?
I did a little study before I was left the university. I could try my hand at it.
And you guys, if you'd like, are welcome to make a combined roll.
Why don't you two go down there, get that worked on? I'll take the con and pilot while you're getting that worked out.
That doesn't sound ominous at all.
Captain.
Here's this red shirt.
I prefer green, thank you. Now, and as we're going down, Onyx, what does your calculating brain tell you about what happened to these poor folks? We got a shuttle bays empty. We got some decompression explosions. Anything kind of ringing a bell? Your knowledge in ships and all?
I calculate that there have been decompression explosions and damages that have taken out the power of this ship. I am not able to calculate why. Perhaps some future time ask me.
Oh, great. Like I always say in my profession, ABC, always be calculating. Yeah.
That is interesting.
All right, so what's the difficulty again? Was it hard? Sorry,
It's an average difficulty.
Okay.
But I know the doc, while he has no experience with mechanics, is a man of education. I don't know if he'd be... for instance, if you guys wanted to combine your checks, you could use your knowledge of mechanics skill with the doc's sort of raw intellect.
Oh, absolutely. Let's team up. Doc, you up for it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So then, let's see. I have one mechanics. Sorry to slip into the mechanics here, the game
That's
mechanics. I have one
Yep.
mechanics and two intellect. So we would use my one mechanics and your intellect, right? I guess, and you can go ahead and roll it. Is that
I
that's how
might-
it works? Remember?
Yeah, but I just have 2 intellect as well.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. I thought
That's
for
okay.
some reason I thought you had 3.
Teamwork makes the dream work anyway. We'll go with
Well,
that.
I mean, in any
Onyx
case, the
does have
doctor
3.
could add a
Onyx does.
boost if he...
Well, Onyx, yeah.
Yeah.
Onyx is who I thought was with me. So go ahead, Onyx.
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
use
So the
one-
doc. Yeah, the doc comes down. And he's like, "I'm the doc. I can do this." And then Onyx is already doing it.
Okay. So I have the one mechanics to give you. So
Sweet. Okay. So we can do.
Why don't we have Gil lead the role since it's his rank of
Yeah.
mechanics?
okay. So I don't pick the skill then. I just set it.
Yeah. Or you could shoot what Onyx has a 3 in intellect. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you could click your skill and then add 1 green die to the roll, or however you'd like to build the pool.
Nice.
Nice.
Very cool. So what does it look like as you use the shuttle's systems to dock with this the hatch?
Okay, so yeah, the get that kind of outside beautiful shot of the two ships sinking into rotation, and there's these like little grabber arms that extend from the ship, almost like those old bathoscopes from the 50s. Little robot arms come out, and they latch on to these broken twisted coils that used to be the official docking arms, and then they just kind of like thread them together and onto the shuttle's ships. Along the way, of course, Onyx providing some very precise mathematics to offset the motion of the two ships going forward. So it kind of smoothly just comes together.
Beautiful. And then you also have an advantage there that you can spend. Oh, I see you reduced your strain.
Nice.
Yeah, it was very calming, very zen-like experience.
It's so satisfying when it comes together. Just click and yeah.
Barl was absolutely super tense that entire time. He was just bouncing and watching and bouncing around, and like, yeah, he's kind of a nervous guy. He's a nervous guy. He's almost always nervous, but except when you see him doing medical checks, then he's very calm.
Well, hopefully we'll get to see him do some medical checks real soon.
Or hopefully not.
All right. So as the sort of like umbilical is joined to the side of the siren, a little green light appears around the door, telling you there's breathable atmosphere on the other side.
Okay,
That's very
guys.
lucky for you.
Let's suit up and be ready for pockets of bad or no atmosphere. We do know there's at least one hull breach. Do we have that gear?
Yeah, there are spacesuits aboard the shuttle, and they contain 2 hours of breathable air.
Barl is definitely the first one with the suit on. He runs to the suit, puts the suit on, even though we don't necessarily need it right away.
Gil will squish his head into the too small bowl on the top, with his eyes even bigger, kind of like being refracted out of through the glass of the space suit.
I think we all need to know: does your tongue come out and clean those big eyeballs?
occasionally when I not in public, but when I need to look my best, sure.
Okay, so the crew suits up. Are you guys closing your suits tight, or what's?
Well, Onyx isn't, but that's a given.
Yeah, I suppose Onyx doesn't even need to put a suit on.
He's not putting on a suit. He's already
I don't-
walking out of the craft.
I don't think Gavin will, unless he fully needs to. He'll be nonchalant and have he'll have the thing, the helmet on. Does it need like is there activation?
Sure, I feel like these big bubble helmets, you slide them down and then, rotate them sharply to the side until they click.
Okay. So it won't be activated, it'll be on. So it's just one maneuver, like worth away from.
Gotcha. And so as you're making that decision, it sounds like Onyx has already opened the hatch and moved through. So as the air sort of equalizes the pressure between the two ships, there is the faint smell of sulfur that reaches your nose. It's not a really strong smell, but just a little bit of that rotten egg odor. This ship too, of course, is 0G or microgravity. So as you exit the siren, Onyx, you're first, and you find a darkened ship corridor ahead of you. You can see markings on the wall: engineering bay ahead, cargo bay 2 below, and then crew quarters further on down the hall.
Okay. Onyx makes a perfect 180 degree turn back towards his crew and just says, "Captain, what direction should we be going?"
Let's head to the bridge first, and then find out what happened to the survivors, since there's no shuttles in the bay, and then we can take our loot.
All right. So Wait. So then I guess Onyx says, "So which direction would the survivors be, Captain?"
The bridge. We're supposed to go to the bridge.
Okay.
So this is a standard ship layout. So we would okay.
Well, from the exterior of the ship, you could see the bridge, so you know that it's forward. It'll be past the crew quarters up ahead.
Yeah. All right. So I guess Onyx continues to walk down towards the crew quarters, and
Okay. You mean glide from handhold to handhold?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, correct. Sorry, I forgot that.
Yeah.
Barl really wants to have his field meter out just in case there's any kind of radiation danger or anything like that. I don't know if that's going to be difficult to do while he's moving down the hallway.
So give me an easy perception check with your field meter.
Okay.
With a boost dice because you're in short range with me.
Oh, heightens.
And I have heightened senses.
Nice.
And I have a boost die with the field meter, so an easy one, right?
Yep.
If there's one thing Gavin's good at, it's making everybody else look good.
Oh my goodness.
One failure and 5 advantage.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
so it's difficult to get a good reading. You're not entirely sure why, but the sort of normal readings you'd expect aboard a ship seem to have been somehow disrupted, or they're not. There's something not quite right. But you do have 5 advantages there.
I definitely want to use one to heal the strain that he took. Just having the field meter in his hand makes him feel more comfortable. And then,
so he's sort of a man that likes his tools, right?
Yeah, that being able to detect danger before it comes at us is something he needs. And then 4 more advantages.
Maybe something to make it easier for us to get to the bridge. Maybe there's some sort of straighter direction or some sort of walkway thing that moves there.
Or it could be if there's anything to avoid.
Yeah. Well, it sounds to me like
successful.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the goal of the check was to uncover any danger that may lay ahead, right?
Right.
So you're not getting that information.
No.
But I think you do. You're able to get a pretty good layout of the ship. As you wave your field meter back and forth, you're able to detect the changes in the pattern of the electromagnetic fields. So you know that this hallway ahead of you that runs past the crew quarters is going to go head straight on up to the bridge. It's like a straight shot. So I think that's just one advantage. So you're still sitting on 3 here.
Boy.
How about this? If you'd like, for 2 advantages, I can give you some other important information.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. No life signs.
Oh, there's no life signs anywhere on the ship, Captain.
Oh, wait. Maybe a very faint one to the starboard side of the ship, but it's not reading like the size of a humanoid life form.
There's only one. Yeah.
Would info about when this happened roughly be worth the 3rd advantage? Could we trade the last advantage for that?
Absolutely. So judging by the amount of atmosphere or the amount of oxygen in the sort of poorly operating life support system, you would guess it's been less than a day since this happened.
Well, Captain, it seems like there's just recently this has happened, and there may be one life sign weak or small, some kind of small creature, maybe somebody's pet. And I know we can get to the crew or to the bridge this way, and the life sign is over this way. I suggest we do not split up, or at least that I stay with you, Captain.
I take your advice on that. What do you think, Gil?
The bridge was an excellent idea, but if there's any chance somebody could be struggling out there, I do believe we need to get and check that out immediately, if not for Good Samaritan reasons. They may, in fact, scuttle any claims we have to salvage. So it's best to settle all that now.
Agreed. Off the life science. I guess that puts you in the lead. Good doctor.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, follow me. And he heads off towards the life signs.
All right. So you still, in order to reach these life signs, you'll have to travel forward a bit. So you pass the hatches that lead down to Cargo Bay 2. And then you are entering the crew section of the ship. You move through a mess. You see, like in a zero-G environment, you use sort of Velcro-like material to hold your trays to tables and so on. And you can see a few attached to tables as though people were in the middle of meals. No people in sight, however. You move a little bit further forward and you're passing through by crew cabins. Some of the hatches stand open. Others, as you pass them, you see that they appear to have been wrenched open, like something was shoved into the edge of the frame and the hatch was pried open and then wrenched open afterward. If you're not stopping to investigate further, you continue to move on, passing the hatches that lead down to Cargo Bay 1. And then your scanner leads you to a passage leading toward Missile Bay, to the starboard Missile Bay. And that's where your scanner indicates you should go to reach that life sign. Ahead of you is the bridge.
I'll go ahead and take the lead here. Yeah, keep you safe, Barl.
All right. I appreciate that, Captain.
The captain will go ahead and go. You said the life signs were this way and the bridge is this way?
Yeah,
That's
bridge
right.
straight ahead, the life signs to starboard.
Okay, starboard it is. And he does his, I guess it's the handholds on towards the starboard.
So give me an easy perception check, and we're going to add a black die for the dim conditions.
Is that a group, individual, me?
Just for you, since you're out front.
Okay. He sees one black die, and heightened senses does not work on myself, correct?
Unfortunately not.
Okay. 0 successes, 1 advantage.
Okay. So you're moving down the corridor. You don't notice anything amiss. So you're sort of surprised as you round an edge of the corridor and bump into a floating body. It spins as you run into it, and as it rolls around, you see an unsettling sight. A person who has been killed with some severe bruising around their throat and a blue face. So give me a discipline check, average. And you have that advantage if you want to use it.
I really wanted to use the advantage to make sure that my uniform stayed pristine.
Sounds good. There actually are globules of blood floating in the air, and you managed to avoid getting them on your beautiful uniform. I'll also take this check from Barl since you're right behind the captain. It's an average discipline check.
I don't have time to affect his roll, so I won't. Success is 1 advantage.
If you do want to pass that advantage on as a blue die, you can.
Yeah, I will.
If you just let me know how that's happening.
Hold it together, Doctor. You've seen worse than this.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Okay, Doc. Well, you succeeded on your discipline roll. You got 2 threats and a triumph. The 2 threats are you were not able to avoid the globules of blood. And so one lands against the bubble of your helmet, kind of leaving a smear across there. So that's going to add a black die on perception checks until you can clean it off. And then you're going to take a threat. Because even though you've seen bodies before and you've seen injuries, there's something about the way this person was killed that deeply unsettles you. But you do have that triumph. How would you like to spend that?
Well, I was going to ask if I could use it to understand something about how the person died.
Or bring them back to life.
You can tell immediately. It looks like machinery of some kind, like maybe a large vise. You can tell from the impressions on the person's neck, clamped very hard to either side of their neck. And without going into too much detail, they were killed quickly and violently.
Oh my goodness, Captain! Something killed them quickly and violently. It might have been a giant robot, or it might have been somebody wielding some kind of strange machine from outer space. I don't know. But they crushed his. And Barl's really worked up. He's trying to wipe the blood off his mask.
Doctor, good Barl. Are you sure that? I mean, there's been heard of some freakish accidents in my time. Are you sure it couldn't have just been some sort of strange accident from the ships going out of control, spinning, something like that?
No, I can tell by the marks on his throat. If you look here, and then Barl goes into talking about the actual anatomy of the person's throat and the crushing the larynx, and it happened. Somebody did this on purpose. They could be here on the ship with us, right? No. Oh no, there's no other life signs. Wait, there is a life sign. Where is it?
Well, we should find it quickly.
Is there any ID or like something to indicate what this person formerly did aboard the ship?
Sure.
And like that?
Yeah. So you can see they've got the ship's crest, the Buenaventura crest on their ship suit. And they also have a little badge that indicates their missile crew. And I'll say too, while the doc was sort of indicating, explaining what he immediately grasped, he sort of reaches out and steadies the body, and out of the body's right hand floats a burner, a weapon, and it sort of like drifts across the passageway and bumps against the far wall.
Captain, how many missiles would usually be here on this side of the ship, and are they all present and accounted for? I'm not sure. I'm even less comfortable if this malevolent force has a missile as well.
Each bay could
Would
hold
I be able to make
missiles.
it would normally hold 2 missiles?
Yeah, each bay would normally hold 2 missiles.
Okay. Well, there's 2. Should be holding 2. And how many did you say there was? Can't quite make it out.
Yeah, according to your scans, there should both be here present in this missile bay. And which is, you're still a little bit a ways down the corridor from the missile bay. You're kind of rounding the corner that leads into that section of the ship.
Well, the captain goes ahead and makes sure his stinger is easily accessible. But let's go find this lost life form. Are you sure you can handle this, Doctor?
Oh, as long as you're here, Captain, we'll be all right. I'm sure of it. Looking around, nervous, still trying to get the blood off his mask. I'm here to help. I'll keep you safe. You'll keep me safe. We'll be good.
Okay. Gavin goes ahead and keeps heading towards where the life sign was coming from.
All right. You continue around the curve of this passage, and then up ahead you see the open hatch to the missile bay. Through the hatch and sort of the dim light, you can see the machinery inside. The edge of the launcher, with its the rails where you would place a missile and load it into the launcher, and you do hear some faint metallic sounds coming from up ahead.
Let's hold it. Keep our voices down, guys. I don't know what that is, but it's moving. Where exactly is those life signs coming from, Doc?
How far are we from it now?
Dead ahead. It's definitely coming from inside that missile bay.
It's right there.
Gavin, let's go ahead and go down and start getting into the missile bay if he needs to.
All right.
Going through it.
You reach the hatch, and looking inside, you see a robot. It is working on one of the missiles. It has a panel open on the side, and it seems to be trying to remove the warhead. As you arrive in the hatch, it looks up. You hear like static coming from its vocoder, very faintly through the static. You think you might hear it say, "Please deactivate me," and then it launches itself toward you. let's roll some initiative. So you guys will all be rolling cool since you were expecting an encounter here. No difficulty.
Dang it, Captain! Why'd you have to be so brave? So wonderfully brave, Captain.
Darn it! No one picked up that burner, did they?
Wow, Gil is really fast on the draw.
Wow, you guys all rolled really well.
Yeah.
Well, at least compared to the robot, which got one advantage.
Nice.
So all of you will be going first.
I'm gonna go ahead and take that first slot, and I'm gonna go ahead and use my maneuver to use the coordinated assault maneuver. And Gil and Onyx will get advantage to all combat checks until the next turn.
Very cool. And that's just a maneuver, right? So you still have a...
Yep, that's maneuver, and then I'm gonna make a leadership check. Me trying to say, "Stand down, robot. We are here to save your crew." More of a trying to not go into combat.
Yeah, if there's any way that Gil can help with that, then I'll go ahead and try that as well. But
So it sounds like this will be versus its discipline. And you're trying to command it to stop, essentially?
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought. Okay, so go ahead and make the roll. Make it against 1 purple. I'm going to spend a GM story point to upgrade the difficulty once, turning that purple into a red.
Okay. Just a quick question about robots. Ismax, the 4 principles. Is it 4 principles or 3 principles?
The 3
depends on the book you read.
Yeah. The 3 laws of robotics.
Yes. Is this something that happens in this universe, or?
Well, each robot is unique. Well, it all depends on the manufacturing process.
Okay.
So this one, even though you can see the name of it, you're not familiar with this make, so you're not sure what its core programming is.
Okay. So he's gonna say, "Stand down. We're here to save your crew. Remember the rules." And then here it goes.
All right. Awesome. So you succeeded with 3 successes. So what I'll say is the thing that's driving this robot to attack you is not something that you can stop with a leadership check, but
Yep.
I think that you have succeeded in activating some subroutine, some programming inside it, which is going to disrupt its ability to attack you. So with a success in that regard, I think what we'll do is upgrade the difficulty this robot's next check.
Okay. And then I'm gonna take 2 strain to make sure I'm engaged with the rest of my crew.
Oh, I see. So you want to move. Well, I think it's fair to say, since you guys are all traveling together in this passageway, that you're engaged with one another. Is that what you wanted?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you won't have to spend strain for that.
Okay. Sounds good then.
All right.
I didn't really expect that to work, but it's what he would do.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I love it. It's extremely thematic. And so now we have another PC slot. So who's feeling like they want to go next?
Doc, I figure it's time for you to use those protrusions for more than just a cosmetic effect, although they are quite lovely.
Okay, Doc is. And I don't know if Gil has seen this because Gil's brand new to I think he's pretty new to it. But Doc, we're not engaged with the robot yet.
No, the robot is still at short range. Yeah.
So I could Doc, but Doc could use a maneuver to move and then
Easily. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any black die to the actual move into combat or anything like that? Where?
No, I think you've got enough experience in 0G to place yourself where you want to be. But of course, it's hard to get leverage. So there are 2 black dice from environmental effects.
Yeah. So.
But I think Gil, speaking to whether Gil knows what you're capable of, surely he's seen you practice your martial arts.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. I was because the last time you saw Doc really calm down actually was when we had that encounter with the pirates and we were battling them off. I don't know if Gil was there. Gil's seen him train, but you see the Doc just slide his field meter into his pocket, and I don't know if that's a maneuver or not, but put his field meter away. If it is, he'll spend the 2 strain for it, and then move very intentionally and focused at the robot, and smooth and very athletic, and he moves at the robot, and it does some really employs some of that martial arts that you've seen him training, and makes an attack.
So when it comes to the field meter, if you'd like to spend a story point, I think you could have a tether, which auto retracts it to your belt.
Sounds good. I just clicked it. Did I do that right?
You did?
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, and I imagine Gil did see that beautiful display with the pirates, and he's even asked for lessons. You've given him some pointers. He's awful, but he's still fun to train with.
Those legs are just too long.
Yeah, Barl doesn't. The doc is like, I don't know how to do this with your body. I don't know how this works, but we'll keep working on it. Yeah, I think. And 2 black die, you said.
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we go.
Whoa.
Wow. That's the second time that's happened to you. All right, so the roll failed, but you scored 5 advantages.
Can I trigger a knockdown with 5 advantages, or does it have to be successful to do that?
Well, technically for knockdown, I think you do need to successfully hit to trigger knockdown.
Yeah.
Could you move him away from the missile just to make sure he's not going to get at that core or something? Do something like that, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe, yeah, right. I could, that'd be good if I could use advantage there. It'd be good to pass some dice to Onyx or Gil, I guess, to the next, pass some blue dice.
How about even though you didn't connect in a way that's going to do damage, still you've put on quite a display of martial prowess as you slide past the robot in 0G, like a whirl of limbs and maybe even like a glancing headbutt, which is going to put you sort of in a position in front of that missile.
Between the robot and the missile.
Yeah, if that sounds good to you.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And then, so that'd just be 1 advantage. And then, so to pass the blue die on to the next person to act would also just be one advantage, leaving you with 3.
And then I could pass, so 3 advantages.
You could specify a person for 2.
Person, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Or you could have knocked the robot out of position, so he's a little bit. He's got
you
a
could
he's
give
good at
him
dice.
Yeah, so if I give him a black die, that costs 1,
2.
2.
2.
and then I'd have 1 advantage left.
Yes, if you're passing a boost on to the next person. Yeah.
Well, I'll use the 2 advantage and give them both to Gil. I'll use the 2 advantages to specify Gil.
Okay. So we're left with still Gil and Onyx to act before the robot gets a chance.
Yeah, Onyx, I don't know if Onyx is actually going to do anything. I think Onyx might just let the rest of the crew handle and just sort of watch what's going on. Oh, as Barl attacks, Onyx is definitely like mimicking his movements, but just doing it really slow because his mechanical arms just can't match the speed quite yet. But he's like doing it in the air, or the whatever atmosphere is on the ship. But I don't think he's actually going to act
Okay.
yet, or hold his action, if you will.
Sure.
Now, if I remember, my robotics 200, stun weapons don't do much to these fellas, but I did get a D- in that class, so here's hoping for the best. I'm gonna try to shoot it with the stun ray.
That sounds good.
Now, is the weapon? It's not under the skill, right? Sorry.
Yeah. Well, if you've added the weapon to your character sheet, you should be able to use the weapons tab on the right there,
Oh, okay, great. Weapons tab. Yep, I did.
and you can select the weapon, the range, which will be short, and then the target.
Okay, so will that include increase the purple because he's engaged with somebody, right? And I also have the black dice.
Yes, that's correct. 2 black dice, and then you'll need to remove 1 purple and upgrade it once. Or excuse me, add a red die back in.
Okay.
And that's from being, yes, as you were saying, that's
Yeah.
because your target is engaged with an ally.
Let's go. So yes, Gil pull. Surprisingly to anyone's watching, Gil smoothly pulls out the stun ray, kind of like squints one eye, ducks his head back and forth to try to get around all the people, and then fires off one of those like old school sci-fi. The ray starts off as a small circle and gets bigger and bigger and bigger as it kind of goes through the air and hits the robot.
It definitely looks like it was added in post.
Red, purple, and it's 2 black, right?
Correct.
So I have 3 green, a red, purple, and 2 black. That's what I'm figuring. This one is.
Oh no, I think it'll just be 1 red, no purples. because you're
okay, cool.
at short range, upgraded once.
Okay, great. Oh, there you go.
Okay. So a fail, a miss.
Almost the same
but-
thing with a skill
Oh,
added.
You know what? You did get a blue die. You can just roll that separately if you'd
I'll
like.
go ahead and make that one separate. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No
okay.
change. And I'm only
All right.
reading the results out loud in case anyone's listening.
Yes, no problem. Yeah. So, well, as you thought, it didn't do much to the robot.
All right, but you did get that advantage.
Let's make it simple. I'll just de-strainify somehow from that.
You do have
I was right. I guess I feel better about that.
you did gain one advantage from my maneuver too, so it's
Oh,
an
and additional
total.
advantage. Let's pass on. If Onyx would like to do something, then I have distracted the robot momentarily to enable him to get advantage.
Okay, so Onyx, since you're choosing not to do anything this round, give me a perception check. Because of everything that's going on, it's going to be an average check
Okay. Well,
with a boost die from. Was that correct? A boost die from Gil?
Maybe, and then 2 boost dice from Gavin.
Nice.
okay. Well, that's good because Onyx, as we know, is not great at looking at things. I'm also gonna use a story point to upgrade my roll. 1 success, 2 advantages.
Nice.
So as the robot is spun around by the dock and the shots are flying past it, the stun ray plays against the missile launcher behind it. It turns its head, and you can see just behind the receiver on the left side of its head, there's a smudge of something orange. And as it's lit up by the light from the stun ray, it looks like something growing on the side of its head.
Onyx is gonna point that out. I think Onyx has like a laser pointer on his finger. I don't know if I did. Maybe that's one of my advantages.
Or story point.
Well, yeah. So he immediately says, "Captain and crew, observe the orange goo on the side of this robot's face. It seems to be alive." And he laser points it. Quite disturbing.
Excellent. Okay, so then I think that's good for an advantage, and then you have one more to spend there.
Yeah, I'll just use that to pass on if I can.
Sure, a blue boost to the next. So you're pointing this out gives a little bit of insight to everybody. So the next person to act will have a boost. Okay, so now we come to the NPC slot. So the robot is going to act. So it had originally launched itself at the captain, interrupted briefly by Doc Trango, but it is still positioned well against the side of the missile launcher and is able to shove itself off. And so it is going to make a clamp attack on the skipper.
Ooh.
So I have the past upgrade to the difficulty and the black die. Anything else I should be aware of?
I don't think so. Oh, I don't have any. I have no defense.
Oh, you know what though? It should also be dealing with the problems of the 0G. But those 2 dice came up with nothing. So we're left with 2 failures and 1 advantage. So it's not able to clamp onto you. It just gets the barest grip on your gorgeous ship suit, but it comes loose before it can rip at the fabric. It will use that advantage, however, to brace itself slightly against the wall and get a boost on its next action. So we're back around to the top of the round, and a PC gets to act.
If you don't mind, I'll grab that again.
Go ahead, Captain. Yep.
And this time I'm going to use the same maneuver and pass it to Doc and Gil, not Onyx. And I'm putting it in the computer this time. So the advantages are on sessions. And then I'm going to spend 2 strain and draw my weapon and fire. Short range. No, I'm engaged. So it's 2 difficulty and 2 black die, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do anything with that.
Oh my gosh, we cannot hit this thing.
Another miss. 2 failures and 1 advantage.
Could I use?
I have an idea for it. If you
Okay, go for it.
okay, so it's really close in with you, right? Because it was attempting to clamp you, and you hear the static again coming from its vocoder, and again you hear it say, "Deactivate me, please." And as it turns slightly, you can see a switch on its body. It's protected. It has like a little hard clear case over top of it, but you think a good athletics roll might be able to open that up and turn it off.
Hit the power switch! Get the power switch!
Okay, Doc can go next and try to make it happen.
I have a question.
Shoot.
If he's making this athletics check, would it count as a combat check?
Well, I think you could choose instead to do like a brawl
Okay.
check, but I think you'll need to score, let's see, because athletics is to specifically get in, pry the thing open and turn it off. A brawl check would be to do damage, but I think if he manages to get an advantage on that brawl check, he could use that to switch off the switch. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering if I could use my in a combat check from coordinated assault.
I see. Yeah, so I
It's
think
just combat checks.
right. So I think then that's the trade-off. A successful athletics check would shut it down automatically, but a brawl check would need one advantage.
And I would, with the brawl check, I would be able to use the advantage that he passed to me.
Yes.
But with the athletics check, I would not be able to use it.
Correct.
Okay.
And sorry, you're using the term advantage. Is that a boost die or an actual advantage on the roll?
It's actually an advantage.
Oh, nice.
That's from the coordinated assault.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, Doc, use what you were telling me before about the way of the swift off power switch maneuver you were trying to teach me in that last class.
Oh my goodness! I can't believe this has come to pass where we have a power switch and we plan for this. I shall do that maneuver right now.
Truly, your masters are wise.
And this is I mean, I'm from behind and 2 black, 2 purple, right? Yeah, it's always. And I will do a brawl, so this will do damage. Oh my goodness, 1 success. All those dice and I got it. And 2 advantages.
Perfect. So the brawl check, what is the damage for your brawl?
I think that's 4 damage. Oh no, it's actually 6 damage because of the. Yeah, I assume. Yeah, I hit the switch. Barl actually grabs an arm, turns the robot, slams his other hand into the side of the robot's head with his bony palm, and then just grinds it up. Hits the switch and grinds up against the switch, and just trashes the side of his face, but also
Jeez.
turns him off.
All right, that is going to deactivate the robot.
Gil, did you learn anything?
I did indeed. That was a thing of beauty. I must say, rarely has a combat been so exhilarating yet so completely ineffective. It was it's one for the books, to be sure.
Onyx is just like doing the motion over and over and over again.
So you did have one advantage there left over, and if you don't have a plan for it, I could give you a little bit of something.
Yeah, sure.
So as your hand smashes into the side of the robot's head, you deactivate it. So you haven't destroyed it. Its processor is still intact. But you have kind of broken open the side of its head, like popped loose some of the fasteners. And as the rear of the case of its processing unit pops open, you can see that the inside is all covered with some kind of yellowish growth.
Here's that orange goo you were talking. He jumps back and throws the robot at Onyx or down on the ground. I don't know. He just jumps away from it. There's that orange goo.
Barl, you do reach inside people, do you not? That's not standard issue oil, I do believe.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's just startling. That's all. It's just startling.
As the robot spins away, sort of the change in air currents brings a distinct smell of sulfur to your noses.
Oh my goodness. Sulfur dioxide poisoning in a robot? I have never heard anything like that. Pulls out his field meter and he's.
This is a sulfur mine, like the planet.
Yeah, exactly. The moon of Maar is home to extensive sulfur mines. It's a planet covered in sulfur and sulfur minerals.
Could this be a strange organism that evolved on these sulfur-rich veins?
It's most likely just a leak from the storage compartment. This is a sulfur mining facility they are coming back from.
Possibly. It is curious goo. Perhaps we could examine it further.
That's your specialty, Doctor.
Well, I could take a look at the goo.
Are the life signs still here?
Well, okay, so yeah, you're pulling out your field meter.
Yeah.
I do believe you find them maybe the goop.
That's true. Yeah, that's where the life signs are coming from.
It is alive. It is alive.
If you'd like to examine it, you can do a hard medicine check.
Yeah, I will do that. He will.
And I think your meter would give you a blue die.
Right. Okay. I will spend the story point. Oh my goodness. Come on.
Please.
I have no idea. Well, I don't know. I do not know what this is.
Um,
But maybe.
with that advantage, I think Onyx is actually moving away a little bit and eyes the doc and will ask the doc, Doc Trango, I would like to request of you. Do you know, is it transmissible to me? And I don't know if that's a viable thing to have information about from the advantage, but
Yeah, so why don't we say this? So the check to sort of uncover or figure out what this thing is failed. The readings from your meter don't fit any that you've seen before. You know, you're not able to pin down. It's going to take a lot more study to figure out what this actually. But in the process, one of the antennas sticking off the top of your meter sort of lightly brushes against this little mass or mat of material, and a piece breaks loose and sort of tumbles through the air. And when it does, you see tiny filaments start to spread out from it and writhe ever so slightly.
Well, that's how it spreads. Look at it floating through the air. Just coming for you, Onyx. It's coming for you.
Onyx starts like blowing air. It's like really fast pressurized air coming out of his mouth.
Would you have a fan, like a cooling system in your processing unit or something?
Starts whirring.
Gavin is going to go back to the burner that we found off the body and pick it up.
Curious. Do we believe this can infect? I suppose we have much to learn, but can it infect only robots? Perhaps the ship? Perhaps our equipment? We best tread lightly with this.
Well, I'm just hoping it burns and pulls the trigger on the burner, aiming mostly at the virus on the robot.
And burn it does. Yeah, you fry all of the mat curls up quickly in the ray from the burner, and you see sparks also coming from the processing unit inside the robot as that is also destroyed.
Yeah.
You sweep the ray over that little bit of floating stuff as well, I assume.
Yeah.
And has the life signs disappeared on the field meter?
They have. There's no more detectable aboard the ship.
Oh, damn. I wanted the Aliens style cutscene where they disappear and then all of a sudden you get like 20 all over the place.
Game over, man.
You're not reading that right.
Okay, so from this point, you're able to explore the rest of the ship. You find evidence of conflict. You find more bodies. You find actually a couple of robots that have been destroyed in small arms fire. They've been burned through various places, and then ultimately their heads. You make your way to the bridge where you find that there's been a battle that's happened here. Tiny spheres of blood hang in the air, and smears of blood on the walls and the command station make it a pretty awful place. You can see damage from burner beams that lace the bulkheads. And the bridge is pretty small compared to the Nereid wake, only 30 square meters altogether. You see the captain here, killed by a severe blow to the head, along with 3 other bridge crew similarly dispatched by blunt trauma. If anyone would like to make an average computers check, they can gain some information about what happened here. And an average mechanics check will reroute power to reactivate the reaction control thrusters.
I'm on it.
Yeah, I think Onyx will help with that again, if possible.
And so you guys are seeking to reactivate the reaction control thrusters?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just an average mechanics check.
So Onyx, do you want to roll that one, or what's our end up?
Your skill again. So Onyx is just kind of your tool at the moment. So you
Okay.
will add a green from my extra
Nice,
intellect.
awesome. But Gil always is trying not to because he doesn't want to be insulting, but he's keeping a very close eye on Onyx, making sure there's no orange glow to him.
Yeah.
Onyx like switches his eye color to orange, but then just switches it back and says, "Just kidding."
Oh, that's an excellent idea about the reroute and reversing the polarization. I never would have thought of that, Onyx. Excellent. This will be up in no time.
All right. So with those successes, you do successfully reroute power to the reaction control thrusters. That threat, however, as you're doing this, you realize that perhaps in reaction to what happened earlier, the bridge crew had intentionally overloaded the outputs in port side of the ship, and you send a pulse through cargo by one. There's kind of an intense odor that fills the ship's air pretty quickly. So you're not exactly sure what happened down there, but that was a mistake.
Yeah, that my bad. That one's on me. Seems all right though.
Yeah, why don't we check out the atmosphere, Doc? Make sure that's not gonna get us. I'm gonna go ahead and lock in this helmet while we're.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've had my helmet locked the entire time. But Doc has been walking around Onyx as well with the field meter, just really carefully monitoring, and yeah. And then when the captain asks about the air, do another check on the field meter, just scan the.
Yeah. So with restoring the power, part of that process sort of reactivated vital pieces of the life support system. So some fans have kicked back on, sort of circulate air, which is in part why you're smelling some additional, unfortunately, some burned flesh smell coming from elsewhere in the ship, but also like a thicker sulfur odor and the smell of like plastics or carbon composites also burned elsewhere on the ship. But your fuel meter does tell you that all the systems on board seem to be stable.
Well, things seem stable, Captain. Perhaps we should get our loot and get the hell out of here.
Can we just take it out of our propulsion? Is propulsion systems viable?
They are. And Onyx is pretty easily able to stop the tumble of the ship and actually move it a bit out of the field of debris. So you're going to be able to easily dock now with the Nereid's way.
Now, this ship is a potential gold mine, Captain, but how do we prevent any contagion spreading to our mechanical friends on the Nereid's wake?
Well, fire seems good.
Fire good.
Do I know if there's more medical crew beyond just Doc?
Yeah, you've got a Doc has a department, first. So some of the crew is trained as sort of like first responders or medics, but then Doc also has like a dedicated staff in the med bay.
Who he also tries to train in martial arts. Varying degrees of success.
Doc, do you figure that this stuff could survive in space? Perhaps if we just brought the two ships close to one another and ferried it back and forth through the void, as it were, that might give us some protection from the virus crossing over. I don't know. Just noodling here.
Well, that seems logical, but I guess, I trust our equipment. My field meter has never failed me before, and we aren't detecting life on the ship. So, but I do like the precaution. I do like that. So, that seems like a good plan.
Could we test on a sample? Have we collected a sample?
No, we burned it.
Oh, never mind. So much for a sample.
So there might be some of this stuff on the moon, I guess. That's
We gotta go meet our contact anyway.
How do we know we won't meet the same fate? Well,
We're better than them, of course.
affirmative, Captain.
We have the captain now, don't we?
that's right, we do.
All right. Well, I guess we should just start ferrying stuff then.
Okay. Well, so you're able to put that missile back together that the droid had been, for some reason, disassembling. Or excuse me, I said droid. We're not playing Star Wars. The robot had been disassembling, as well as another missile from that same bay. So you get both of those. You get the ship was almost completely full of fuel. So you're able to completely replace your stores aboard your ship. Their galley was freshly stocked, so there's fresh fruits and vegetables that they picked up recently, which your ship had been sorely lacking. The crew was a lot smaller aboard this ship, only 50 compared to your 200. So it's not going to last long, but it is a nice boon for the crew. Speaking of the crew of this cargo ship, you find 12 bodies, but 13 crew are missing.
I was wondering if I would think we might want to try and figure out maybe from logs or tape or something of their recent travel, if they'd been to the moon, if they'd docked with other ships, or when their shuttles left, that kind of thing. Do a sort of an investigation into what actually happened on that ship.
Absolutely. Yeah, the most recent log entry shows them leaving Maar. They had picked up, their cargo bays are full of raw sulfur to be used in the terraforming of 2 of the planets around the larger star in this system. And that's where they were headed. They'd also picked up 20 robots.
Mhm.
And in the cargo bays, you find racks of cradles for stowing labor robots, 10 in each. Cargo Bay 2, they're completely empty. Cargo Bay 1, there are 8 empty cradles and 2 that still have robots. But here you find evidence of the system's overload that apparently the bridge crew initiated. And it did successfully fry these 2 robots. And you find kind of carbon charring around their heads. It seems as though they had similar infestations to the one that you guys faced.
Is there any way to acquire spare parts for you, Alex?
Yeah, Onyx can, I guess, try and I don't know if that's a thing that.
Yeah, I think so. Why don't we give you an emergency repair patch? So it'll act just like a palliative tonic. So it will repair 5 damage for a maneuver.
Sweet.
I'd imagine this whole time Gil has got like one of those big calculators with the paper tape, and he's been in the cargo hold the whole time, just adding up, and his grin's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as the stuff comes in.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, without going into too much specifics, if having completely refueled your ship is a nice boon, that probably saved you guys about 5,000 souls. Souls, of course, being the currency. SOLS.
Oh, not actual souls.
Not actual souls. SOLS, souls. Or sols, however you say it. And then the 2 torpedoes, each one 3,000 credit or souls. So those are good as well. And then the ship's stores they were able to bring aboard. And then there is some amount, say 10,000 souls, just in raw currency aboard the ship. And then some other cargo and minor stuff. You could, if you want, bring aboard the pure sulfur that was in their cargo holds. But it is kind of hefty. This ship was designed to carry bulk goods while yours really isn't. But you could fill your cargo bay with that if you wish.
Would it be worth it to? What would the cost be of delivering this, Gil? My resident expert.
From a strictly fiduciary perspective, yes, it would definitely be worth it. The ships come to the system to get the sulfur. It is valuable depending on which port you're taking it to. But Captain, it's up to you how long we wish to. My accent's traveling all over the South now. How long we wish to tarry around the ship and its unfortunate history. It's difficult. It'll be a difficult decision. I'm glad I'm not captain.
So filling up your cargo bay, Gil estimates that you can probably turn about a 15,000 soul credit or profit, and you could potentially ferry back and forth. So you're able to fit about a quarter of the cargo on your ship at a time.
Oh, 15,000. I just take it back. Gil just says, hamana.
And so it would be the case
and
of...
that's an in-system. That would be like an in-system one because they're trying to... We wouldn't even have to make a huge jump.
Right, yeah. It would just be a matter of traveling over to the other star in this binary star system.
And we are supposed to meet contacts down below to get our cargo, or...
Yeah, so you have quite a big profit ahead of you if you can deliver these parts to Maar.
Okay, so we're already full in.
Yeah, I mean, the actual cargo aboard your ship doesn't take a lot of room because they're a high-end product.
Okay, so why don't we load up what is easy to load and without weighing us down too much, and then on the way out, load up on the heavy thing so we're not burning up fuel, carrying extra cargo that we can just fill up again on the way out.
That's why you are the captain.
Indeed.
All right, so that's exactly what you do. And then after you're fully loaded, you disengage from the other cargo ship. And I suppose you light your engines and head toward Maar. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you encountered the Buenaventura about a day out of Maar. It's a sort of anxious 18 hours or so as you approach this moon orbiting a gas giant. The radiation fields around the gas giant are pretty intense. But fortunately, Maar is orbiting far enough away from it that you won't have to navigate those to get close to the moon. As you come within communication range, you see a beep on the communication panel, a little light indicating that you're getting an incoming message. Who's on the bridge to answer it?
This is the Nereid Swake. You're speaking to Skipper Gavin Lockheed. How may I help you?
So the tiny view screen set into the panel next to your captain's chair comes to life, and the scroll of static coalesces down into a face. Are you bringing parts for the robot manufacturing facility?
Let me check my logs quick.
Yes, Captain, I believe we are.
Yes, robot manufacturing facility parts.
Excellent. Excellent. Yes, good. We need those. We need them desperately. All right, well, you're clear to approach.
I like how he negotiates.
Now, have you been having any problems recently? We talked to what was the other ship's name?
The Buenaventura.
We ran into the Buenaventura on their way out, and they said some crazy things were going on.
Crazy things. Yes, the Buenaventura did leave our moon facility several days ago. They picked up a large order of sulfur and some of our labor robots. We've got no problems here. Why, are they experiencing issues?
They mentioned something about the robots acting weird or something like that.
That doesn't sound... No, we've got no problem with our robots. They're behaving normally. Hey, we pride ourselves here on manufacturing some of the best labor robots in the known space. We've never had a problem. And if we do, we replace it right away. We have a really strong return policy.
Well, I imagine you'll be hearing from the... No, you will not be hearing. Yeah, I think you probably need our parts pretty desperately.
Indeed, we do. We have our Series 2 robots. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
I'm gonna transfer you over to Gil, our chief financial officer.
Okay.
Great. Happy to finally meet you face to face, as it were, after all our discussions over the communicator. We're loaded with the finest microvacuoles and hyper transistors that you'll be needing to construct your fine merchandise. Where should we dock and begin our negotiations on a mutually beneficial transaction?
Oh, you're clear to bring your shuttle into Landing Bay Alpha. We're transmitting the coordinates now.
Excellent. I look forward to concluding our business and having a joyous celebration.
Yes, we feel the same way. There'll be quite a celebration when you bring those parts. We're waiting to manufacture our Series 2 robots, and we need your parts to do it. See you soon.
Indeed.
Okay, as the Nereid's wake comes ever closer to the moon of Maar.
Captain, I couldn't help your somewhat obtuse in your reporting on what happened to the poor Bonaventura. Is that a gambit of some type to see if this man was lying or knew something about his robots? It does have me in my worry, especially for an enabling creation of more.
You saw right through me. I was seeing if they knew what was going on, and I was hoping I'd be able to tell if he was lying to cover something up. But he's just too fancy of a talker for me to quite catch.
Well, unless he's extremely cagey, his negotiation skills could use some work. It's his almost desperation that's got me a bit worried. What I more than anyone else likes to get to the business of making money, but they seem to be very, very desperate to start manufacture right away. Well, perhaps it's nothing.
So what part of space? How close is this to any of the? Is there any regions of space where there is considerable conflict?
Yeah, no, this region of space is relatively safe. It was not chosen as one of the original colony worlds hundreds of years ago because there was no easily terraformed planets. But more recently, with the discovery of new processes, the mining of sulfur from the moon of Maar has led to the ability to terraform 2 planets around the other star in this system. So recently it's kind of popped onto the radar and gained the interest of some terraforming companies and resettlement companies. And so that's currently what's happening here, but it's not close to the frontier really. It's actually kind of in settled space.
Okay. I was just want to make sure that it wasn't like, okay, maybe war robots that someone's getting pressure to make.
The despot of Wardoon is got his tentacles everywhere.
But he has his own region of space.
He does,
right?
yeah. That is some distance from here.
So yeah, let's just on our way. Should we be making discipline or cool checks to?
Oh, yes, to regain strain. Yes. So yeah,
Yes.
you can make either a discipline or a cool check with no difficulty to regain strain. And each success regains 1 strain, and then advantage can be spent as normal on a check, so advantage can also be used to regain strain. As the wake approaches the moon of Maar, you can even see from this distance the high volcanic activity on this planet. You have the coordinates for the outpost, and it isn't immediately adjacent to any of the larger volcanoes, but there are clouds of dust and debris being thrown up into the thin atmosphere. So it's going to be a little tricky getting down to the outpost. You probably want your best pilot.
Worry not, Captain. I am trained for this exact specific situation. Though you may want to hold on tightly. And yeah, Onyx is gonna make some serious maneuvers to try and avoid this. He's been preparing for this that entire time that everyone else was nervously doing whatever. He was just like running this simulation in his head over and over and over again. So like he's super ready for this.
Awesome. So landing, and I assume all of the characters are joining. And we need the doctor, right? Because of the potential of...
Doc barges into the bridge and seems like we're almost to the moon. Is everybody ready to just face the challenges and the dangers ahead of us and make sure that we don't get poisoned and find out whether the virus is still there and talk to all the locals and do all the work that we need to do?
I suppose I was rather hoping we just take our money and go as quickly as possible. It's not the most hospitable looking moon, although being raised in a swamp does color one's view. And I do hate when Onyx does explicitly tell us to hold on. It's always a given, but
I feel like at that exact moment we just like sweep around a corner, like right around. I don't know where exactly. Can we set the scene? Sort of like, are we coming right down to the surface right now?
Yeah. So just to be clear, the Nereid's wake is too large, or the moon is too large for Nereid's wake to land itself, right? So you'll have to take a shuttle down to the surface. So again, you're on the Siren.
Okay.
So yeah, so you can set the tone here, and silhouette 3. So difficult driving check would be 3 purple, and you can go at any speed you want. So if you're going slowly, you don't have to upgrade the check.
Do we have any? Is our cargo fully fit in one
Fortunately, the
shuttle trip?
the cargo capacity of the Siren is exactly enough to carry the cargo.
That's almost like someone set that up.
perhaps we could have it delivered after Captain. We settle in business. Not that I don't trust the man, but this is some valuable cargo will be taken down just ourselves. It is our first time doing business with them.
You make a valid point. Make it so.
Okay, so we're not bringing the cargo.
We do have the second ship loaded and ready to go with our second best pilot.
The apprentice pilot or junior pilot.
Yeah.
So you're putting all the expensive cargo on the ship with the second best
Gil was thinking the same thing.
pilot.
Well, I'm more valuable. Doc's more valuable. Onyx is more valuable.
So the plan is to go down, do some negotiations, and then come back up. Or we can call the second best pilot to bring it down to us. Well, once the negotiations are done. Is that what you're thinking, Gil?
Something like that, or they might have their own capacity. Perhaps I'm just being a little too paranoid. I'm not sure. I just thought it'd be best to have everything signed on the dotted line, as it were.
I think that's a fine plan. It probably doesn't take much time to get down to the planet and go back up to the cargo and then bring the cargo back down. I would imagine it's a half-hour trip, or maybe the GM thinks otherwise.
No. Yeah, it's actually not difficult. Getting down and back up from the planet's surface doesn't take too much time at all. It is a bit of a tricky flight because of the clouds of sulfur and debris from volcanoes launched up into the low, not quite to orbit, and then falling back down.
Well, yeah, Onyx is going to say, no need for Mr. Second Best Pilot. Onyx will make the trip as many times as you need. More practice is better. That's what they say at my place. MPIB. It's just like you said, Gil. Okay.
Well, do enlighten me, Mr. Onyx. What does that stand for?
More practice is better.
Excellent, excellent.
See? I can do acronyms. Okay.
Technically, I believe that's an initialism, but
Wow, that's so rude of you, voice in the sky. I'm just learning.
that's the second best pilot watching you board the shuttle.
Come on, Alf.
Okay, so let's get so it'll just be a hard piloting check for the silhouette of the vehicle.
Okay.
But there is debris, so that's going to add 2 black dice to the roll. Clouds of sulfur and debris from the volcanoes.
Yeah, say no more. I have knack for it. So we'll use that again to get rid of those pesky black dice.
Oh, knack for it strikes again.
Yes. Okay.
And well, but the siren only has a handling of 1, which is another black dice.
Oh no, handling of 1 adds a boost to the roll.
I thought
Oh,
the
okay.
negatives added.
Other way around.
No.
Negative handling adds setbacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But thanks for calling that out
Alright.
because we did not add that the first time.
Sweet.
So you get a Buddha?
Yeah, I get a Buddha. All right. 2 successes.
That's
Clean and simple.
That's all you need. You lower the siren through the clouds of sulfur and swinging back and forth to avoid bits of rock and molten debris thrown up into the air by volcanoes far distant on the moon, but exploding with enough force to rain rock down all across the surface. You approach the outpost, which is for the most part completely buried underneath the surface, but you do see the opening of one of the landing bays. In the distance, maybe a quarter mile away, a little bit further, you see another landing bay hatch. So there apparently is another way in and out of this facility. But you lower yourself down, you lower the shuttle down and through the open hatch, which closes behind you. This facility is powered. So as you come into the berth, umbilicals extend outward to plug into the shuttle, and the large docking hatch attaches to the side of your vessel.
And who else do we see other than the people? Is there anyone else coming to meet us, or?
Well, if you open the hatch and travel out through that sort of accordion-like structure that leads into the facility, is that what you guys do?
Yeah, Onyx gestures for the captain to lead the charge.
And Doc has got his trusty field meter out. I can look and see whether there's breathable air on the other side of this. I would assume so, since there are people down here, but I will double check.
Yeah, you get that green light that says breathable air. Oh yeah, so what's the state of spacesuits? Are you guys wearing them or are you not?
No, I don't think it would be.
Okay. So exiting through that boarding sort of like accordion docking hatch, you find yourself in a sort of beautifully appointed lobby area to the docking bay. You see lots of plantings, growing beds featuring like plants from old earth and new engineered species, small trees, even some really tall ones that reach up toward the ceiling, climbing vines that run up the walls and up sort of intricate trellises. But you see no people.
Did we check the life signs before we got off?
Oh, I did not.
Why don't you give me a perception check? Because of all the plant life in here, it'll be an average check.
Perception with the field meter.
Yes.
Well, perhaps he is cagier at negotiation than I considered. The old stall tactic. Make him wait. I've seen it 1,000 times, gentlemen.
Average threats.
Your goal was to look for other life, or just life in general, or other people.
Just a general life signs of I think human or humanoid, I guess.
All right, so no humanoid life signs in the near vicinity, like none here in the lobby and none in the sort of hallway that extends away down ahead of you.
Where is everybody?
Those 3 threat. I think you've been giving this field meter some heavy use.
Oh no.
Oh no.
As you're adjusting the little knob on it, unfortunately, you twisted a little too hard. We're going to damage it. So we'll add a setback die to checks that use this field in the future.
Okay.
And so that'll be 2 threat. And then the other threat will be a strain because it's your favorite field meter.
Who the hell was using this thing? He looks at Gil.
Well, it does have advanced spreadsheeting software. I apologize.
There is no spreadsheet access with this knob. Do not ever touch this knob. When we get a new field meter, I don't want you to ever touch this knob ever again.
All right. Believe me, when we get our share of this wealth of a cargo we're sitting upon, I will get you a new field meter. I promise, Doc.
Fine. Let's go. Where the hell is everybody?
So as the doc and Gil are discussing the field meter, and Onyx is waiting patiently with no opportunity to pilot for some time, I think the captain, you notice there's a little station with a monitor, a little kind of communication station.
Skipper's gonna go ahead and go up to the communications station and hit the comms. It's like, hello, where's the greeting party? We're here.
So again, that rolling static on the bulbous TV screen there. And then you see the controller Sakima's face again. Sorry, there's no welcome. Our primary mine has hit a pure vein, just the most gorgeous vein of sulfur we've seen in decades. And all personnel have been called in to help. But if you'll just bring your cargo to the receiving bay, someone will meet you there. It's just maybe a few meters up this tunnel.
Controller Sakima, congratulations on your luck, first of all. And I must say, we are honored to be a small part of making the fine product you'll be delivering to the people very soon when you get your hands on our cargo. But first things first, of course, we have to settle upon price and have funds transferred. And then we'll be happy to bring the much-needed electronic supplies down to your cargo to your cargo bay.
So you're saying you don't have the product with you?
We have it in orbit, yes. Very close.
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
It's going to be average, and we'll add 1 black die from the sort of graininess of the staticky screen.
2 boosts from Gavin.
So we ended up with 2 successes and a threat.
It was 2 boosts. We're engaged. It's 2 boosts if you're engaged.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
1 in short.
Another blank die.
Very consistent.
Jeez, Captain is not paying attention either.
Those 2 successes. Something when you sort of disrupted what this controller expected to be the normal progression of things, it really threw them for a loop. And they are almost sort of, there's like a twitch. They've got like a little twitch where they can't seem to process the information. And then after a moment, they seem to regain control of themselves. And they say, all right, okay, we'll negotiate. Yeah, that makes sense. We'll negotiate. And then you can bring the cargo down. Sounds good. If you will just come up to the receiving bay, someone will meet you there and we'll escort you to the control room. And we can have our negotiation.
Most excellent. Is the receiving bay clearly marked and nearby? Perhaps if you had someone come and escort us there, it would be for the best.
Well, they're on their way. So they'll arrive probably around the time that you get to the receiving. It's only, I don't know, 10 meters up this hallway ahead of you.
Excellent. We'll see you there.
And the screen goes to static before cutting off.
Well, any number of, they could just be busy from the sulfur, gentlemen, but this is seeming a bit peculiar. No welcoming party, walking ourselves into their facility. What do you all make of it?
There's no safety orientation here at all. That's ridiculous. That's what I think.
I thought sulfur was a gas.
No, sulfur powder.
Is it powder?
Sulfur rocks.
Minerals. Yeah.
They are yellow. That's all. Perhaps they are low on funds here.
Perhaps. We should best get a move on, but caution may be our watchword.
Gil, you have a little bit of mechanics, right? Why don't we get that scanner of the docks fixed first? I have a feeling we might be.
Happy to try, but how long will that take?
Maybe about 10 minutes of work and an average mechanics check.
Oh, happy to do it, Captain, but that would make us quite late for the meeting. If it is indeed where they say it is, we should be. They're probably expecting us in a minute or so.
True, but you said that was one of the classic negotiation techniques.
Indeed, I did. Perhaps it's just this place making me a little jumpy. Happy to look at it, Doc. Let me see what I can do.
Okay, but be careful. You probably don't need to do anything with that knob or this one here. Or he hands it over to you. He's very nervous about it. And are you going to help?
Yeah,
Onyx?
Onyx can help again. Yep.
Great. Please tell me this is easy check.
It's an average check.
Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go.
Hey,
wow.
what the heck?
Oh, it's better. Now it has spreadsheet software on it. Really good ones. And I'll take the strain. I think I didn't take the strain last
Yeah.
time. either.
Well, no. Well, I was actually going to do something else with that last threat.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
No, that's okay. We'll let the tension of the situation pile up on you. So yeah, we'll have you suffer 2 strain for those threats.
So while he's getting that fixed, Gavin's gonna be looking around for cover. He's not actually gonna take cover now. He's looking at the plants and seeing what will take a hit and not. He's looking for places.
So a lot of the flooring and there's sort of benches arranged in the edges of these planting beds. They all seem to be made out of compacted regolith, which is a pretty common building material in outposts like these. They can, if you get behind one of them, they could probably take a blast or 2.
Okay.
And even though we'll end up being 10 minutes late. There no one's come to look for us or anything.
Well, what you have that Triumph there. If you like, I can give you a free scan on that hand scanner.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay, so up ahead, up the hallway, about 10, 12 meters ahead, and just through the hatch to the receiving bay, you detect a life sign.
Well, take that, Professor Frick. Looks like I can fix one of these. And whoa, is that someone approaching? How do you read this thing, Doc?
Oh, give me that thing. Let me. Oh yeah, there's somebody over there.
The little ticker tape prints out. Sure enough, that's what the symbols say.
Well, I guess they're waiting for us. Or...
Let's beat our hosts.
So you guys make your way up the tunnel. There's actually a receiving bay to the right. It's a large space, lots of lockers. There's sort of a station with a computer terminal, and then a dip down to some railways, like maglev rails, that lead off into a tunnel. And then ahead of you is another similar little maglev platform that seems to be more for just crew, for them to access the base as they return from being away. So entering that receiving bay, you find a large empty space and you don't immediately see anyone. There is one maglev train on one of the 2 tracks here, but you don't see anyone around it. And then you hear a thump coming from the lockers.
Well, this is a negotiating technique I'm unfamiliar with.
Gavin goes to open a locker. Hopefully, it's not a combination.
It's not, and a person spills out.
Is not the classic lock yourself in the locker negotiation technique?
It's a person that's dressed in sort of a finely tailored tunic. It looks like it's recently seen some, it's a little bit scuffed up. You see a tear near the neckline. Person kind of rolls out into a pile and cowers for a moment, but then when they look up and see your faces, they stand up quickly. Please. Oh, thank goodness. We got to get out of here. Do you guys have a shuttle or something? How did you get here? We have to get out of here right away. I cannot stress that enough.
Is it the guy we were talking to on the screen?
No, it's a different person, although the voice I realize sounds very similar.
No, it was nice, subtly different. Actually, I didn't know this right away. That was well done. Like the same race kind of thing, but a different person. It was good. Well, just a second now. We're here to do very important business. Now,
No. There's no time for that.
Well,
We got to get out of here.
Well, let's explain it on the way then. Let's begin walking. We're walking. Let's walk. We're walking. But perhaps you could do some talking, friend.
Oh,
What?
good. Oh,
Who
we're
put
leaving.
you in there? What's going on?
The robots. They attacked. They started dragging people away. I was just having lunch in the cafe, and the next thing I know, they're grabbing my friend and they're dragging him away. We got to get out of here. They want everybody. I don't know where they're taking them. I don't know why they want them. But we have to get out of here.
When did this happen? We were just talking to one of your coworkers, but 10 minutes ago.
Oh, no, it's been days. I've been in that locker for 12 hours at least. I had to crawl up the tunnel. I crawled up the tunnel all by myself, trying to stay near the edge, being real quiet. I heard the mechanical feet behind me, but they didn't find me, and I made it out of there.
Now, stay calm, friend. This is vitally important. Will you be buying our merchandise?
What's this guy talking about?
I don't know what he's talking about. Get back to the garden at least. If they haven't met us by now.
Okay, so you leave the receiving bay and turn up the tunnel, and that's when I'm spending these 3 these 3 GM story points.
Darth Vader walks into the room.
Oh man, I guess I got some bad habits. I'm still calling them dark side points. You hear a loud explosion from ahead of you and a howling sound as atmosphere escapes out from the accordion-like docking port that attached to your shuttle moments ago.
Captain, I suggest we contact the second best pilot.
Yes,
I think we may need him after all.
I agree.
Emergency hatches slam shut in front of you, sealing off the docking bay. No, no, no. Oh, no. Oh, you didn't leave anyone aboard your ship? No one was guarding your vessel?
Nope.
Nope.
We need to get to that second bay. Where's the second bay at? We saw the.
What are you talking about, second bay? What, you mean the bay where they bring the cargo in and out, like for the sulfur?
Yes.
That's on the other side of the mines. That's on the other side of the control facility. I don't know, that's like a quarter mile away from here. We'll never make it through those tunnels with those mechanical men hunting you down, pursuing you every cook, cranny, and crevice. I barely got out of there. You want me to go back? No.
Calm down, fella. As you can tell, these are some very experienced, very tough hombres we're traveling with here. Now, what's your name again?
My name is Pathala.
Pathala. Well, yeah, we're in a tight spot. But
I'll
my
say
name's
it.
Gil. This is Doc Barrel. That's Onyx 4, and this is you probably heard of him, the legendary skipper Gavin Lockheed. We'll get you out of this scrape, and we'll collect that generous reward at the end for rectifying the situation, I believe.
So I kind of feel like to calm this guy down, we might need a social check.
I said,
Will charm do it? I think charm would be very difficult. So I think
I
charm
can
would
smack
be
him a little too if it'll help.
Charm would be a hard check. A leadership check would be average.
Well, we do have the famous captain. He can
Yeah.
put his mind at ease.
Get your head together.
You could do a combined check.
Can we work together? I don't know what is this a presence-based check?
It is.
I don't know what yours is. Mine is 4.
-3.
Okay, so I could lend you the extra green.
Is that cool?
Absolutely.
I'll continue to play up the prowess of the captain while he's talking.
Yeah, I feel like Gil laid the groundwork.
Any setback?
No setback, just an average check.
Okay. You have 1 blue.
Lots of story points there.
I got 2 yellow, 2 green. I'm not feeling too needy on.
Yeah.
There he is.
6 successes and 2 advantage. So you calm him down. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. You guys seem pretty confident. I bet you've seen all kinds of crazy stuff out there in the spaceways and all that. All right. I can, maybe I can help. I don't know. Maybe I can guide you guys through the facility. I know it okay. I haven't been here too long, but I know. I mean, I understand. I know the layout. I got. Okay. All right. Let's go. We got to get out of here, right? So we got to get to that other shuttle bay. We can do it. I believe in you guys.
First off, we need to contact the ship.
Oh, you're gonna have a hard time.
Is our radios?
You're gonna have a hard time with that.
Is our radios good enough to get through? Or not?
Look, those hand radios aren't gonna pierce that layer of electrostatic sulfur up there in the atmosphere. You need to get to like a transmission dish, like the one they use for the facility to talk to people on the outside.
Would it be on the way?
Yeah, I mean, you could access it from the control room.
The control room probably would have been where that guy we were talking to earlier. He probably is there, and we probably maybe that's where we need to go. I don't know if we can do this. I'm not sure. Doc is having a freak out now. He's
Doc,
freaking out.
we don't have a
Okay,
choice in the matter. It's either stay here or go there. We have this.
Okay, Captain, we go. Let's go. Which way to the control room? Is that the other bay we're going to?
The control room, you got to travel up the tunnel, and I can tell you when we reach it. There's a stop there. We can take that train if any of you know how to operate a vehicle like that.
I might be able to, but there's no sense not trying. I suggest we double time it, and then Onyx runs off towards the train, and gestures for people to follow.
All right, so you guys board this train. It's a maglev train. Turning it on is, you've got the operating skill. I don't think it requires a check right now. But yeah, you're able to activate it. The lights come on, illuminating the track ahead of you. It kind of looks like a railroad, like you're railroading it through this tunnel.
Wow, it's crazy.
And it stretches off into the darkness ahead.
Okay, I need some more information. What's going on with these robots? What do we need to know?
I wish I could tell you more. I mean, this facility manufactures robots. They're supposed to be the best labor robots available in this sector. And they're working on a Series 2, but the ones that attacked were the Series 1, and they just stormed their way in. They started grabbing people and carrying them away. Very few people carry weapons in this facility, so no one was really able to do much to defend themselves. I ran away as quick as I could. I don't know what happened to everyone else. I can only assume they were carried off.
Now, did you happen to notice if there was a orange, is it moss or fungus, or how would you describe that?
Yeah, exactly.
Doc.
Like a moss or a fungus. There's sometimes, for the mining machinery, there's sometimes something like what you're describing that collects around the joints or near the electronics, and they just have to clean it off with some isopropyl alcohol. Or if you get a big patch of it, you burn it.
Do you have, do you know where they keep the burners?
Oh, it's just a hand burner, like that one you have there.
Just a regular hand. Okay,
Yeah, you set it to the lowest setting so it doesn't damage the equipment.
got it.
We may be a mite past that concern, friend.
Well, about how long should it take us on this train?
It's about halfway between here and the other bay, I think, so like 1/8 of a mile. Not long at all, just a few minutes.
Let's be ready. This train's gonna make noise. If the robots are listening, they'll know we're coming.
Is there a way that it could not make noise?
You want to
Like,
roll a stealth check for this maglev train?
is train stealth? I don't know. It's a maglev train. It's at least not making it wouldn't make a stealth, but maybe operating or.
But I really wanted to pull the whistle.
I'm struggling to find a way to make a big maglev train move quietly.
Okay. So it is making a lot of noise though.
Well, no, I don't. We wouldn't make a ton of noise. I mean, there's like the hum of the machinery, but the train,
Right.
you feel a shift as it activates the magnets. But then moving forward, it's just like a kind of a loud hum.
Perhaps we should stop the train and proceed on foot to our location when we're close enough to do so. Captain?
Sounds good. Always observant.
Always observant. AA.
So, should I be calling you on from now on?
AO.
So the train lurches forward at Onyx's direction. But after that initial kind of like jump as it releases its brakes, it moves forward quite smoothly. Pick up speed as you're moving forward through the tunnel. You pass a platform, well lit, but no people present. And then up ahead you see the lights of another platform. And as you approach, indeed, there is something standing there. And as you slide by, it leaps for the train. So let's roll initiative.
Oh, so this wasn't the place we were aiming to go for. This was just something we were going past.
Right. Yeah. So you're passing a couple of platforms on the way to where you're headed to.
Okay.
This is platform 9 3/4.
Exactly that.
It's actually a wizard.
Could I justify using cool?
Yeah, I think so, because you guys have all kind of prepared. I think cool is what you would roll here, because you're kind of all braced for something.
Nice.
So we're going to have 3 PCs, then the NPC. Did I say that right? 3 of you get to go, then the bad guy, and then the final good guy. All right, so this robot, which I don't know if you guys can see the image, looks very much like the one you saw aboard the ship, but this one, this sort of orange growth is sprouted out from every crack and crevice on the robot's body, and sort of these like tendrily bulbous protrusions have grown up off of the surface of the robot. And as it moves, they kind of wave back and forth a bit. It leaps in perfect superhero form and lands right behind you guys at short range aboard this train. Who'd like to go first?
Maybe, yeah, maybe Onyx would go first. I don't know if it's possible to as the robot, or not as, or just as the robot lands, just stop the train and just throw it off or something like that.
I think an operating check, let's see, it'd probably be opposed with the robot's athletics. And if you succeed, you can unbalance it, maybe force it to lose a maneuver. Does that sound good?
Okay, yeah, sure. Is everyone okay with me doing that right away?
Yeah.
Slam on those brakes.
Okay, yeah. Onyx says, one of those hold on moments again, and bam, applies the brakes.
Okay, so why don't you roll your operating skill without difficulty, and I'll roll the athletics of the robot, and then we'll compare the two.
Okay, sure thing.
So it rolled just 3 advantages.
Is there any talents I should use here? Nope.
Oh my
There we
gosh. 1 success and 5 advantage. So you're left. All right, so you succeed. It loses its maneuver as it has to fight to retain its balance. But then you're also left with 2 advantage to spend.
Yep, 2 advantages.
Of course, that you yell out to your friends to brace themselves, right?
Onyx was driving, so I was for sure.
Yeah, that's why I said it's...
Oh, I see. There's no seatbelts in space opera, my friend.
No, there's no seatbelts. So we confirmed that right away.
We're arm in arm locked. The three
Yeah,
of
so I
us.
was
And,
stealthily clinging on for dear life then.
No, yeah, Onyx said it's another one of those hold on moments. Okay, so 2 advantages. Is there like it just landed on the roof of the train?
Okay, so I'm sorry, I did not give you a good description. So there's a sort of a cabin of the train in the front, which is sort of open at the back,
Right.
and then a couple of cars behind for transporting cargo. So it's sort of landed at the front of the second car at short range to everyone.
Yeah, I
in the
pictured
cabin.
it like the maglev version of the train at the zoo, like with the like the little car at the front and the yeah, all open.
That's right.
So it landed in front.
In the front of the second car.
Yeah,
Okay. And is it like it's open straight to where it is?
exactly.
Okay. Maybe stopping the train abruptly, just like I don't know if there would have been anything in maybe some like leftover cargo in the holds that just like shifted out of the way and made it an easy shot. So I'd pass on blue dice to anyone.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can. Yeah, pass on blue dice to anyone who.
One advantage would pass a boost on to the next person to act. Or for 2, you could choose a person. Or for 2 advantage, you could add a black die to the robot's action as whatever's behind
Oh,
it,
yeah.
like kind of.
Oh, sure. Okay, so instead of making it easy for us, yeah, it just obstructs the robot a black die.
So who would like to go next?
Gavin Wood. He's going to go ahead and use his maneuver to pass a advantage to Doc and Gil with coordinated assault talent. I've already done that. I will use 2 strain to draw the burner pistol, and I'll fire the burner pistol at its short range.
It is, yes.
No setback at all this time.
It doesn't have any defense, but if you select it, I think you'll find it has 1 rank of adversary.
Yes, it does. You know what? We got all those story points. I'll use one.
Nice.
Actually,
Finally, someone spent a story point.
hey, I'm gonna do, and there it is. Oof.
Wow.
So no
Not bad.
successes, 2 advantage, and a triumph.
I don't think I can do that with burn either.
Unfortunately not, no.
2 advantage. Man, I think that's going to be another setback. Ooh, no, I'm not going to pass that setback. I think with that triumph, he dodged my shot and got hit by a stalagmite, giving him a upgrade on his next.
The difficulty of his next check?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Yeah, so your burner like maybe deflected off part of its metallic chassis and then burned through some of the looser rock on the ceiling, sending it cascading down over him.
And the 2 advantage will be the next burst. Look at the boost. And I'll recover. Actually, no. Let's just... I'm going to keep that. And let's use advantage for... I have my GM screen right
You
here.
could notice an important point in the ongoing conflict.
Yeah, that sounds like a great one. I will do so.
I guess one option might be that it's still standing on the second car of this maglev train.
Aha.
Perhaps there's a way to...
Disconnect.
Yeah.
Yo, Doc, disconnect the train.
Well, Doc is getting ready to jump and leap and smash that robot, and I think he says, "I ain't no mechanic." He looks over at Gil.
I suppose I apparently am. Yes, Captain. I'll get right on it.
Yeah. All right. So I think this it would probably be easier with mechanics. I would say it's a hard athletics or an average mechanics check.
I know what Gil's in favor of.
Gil never wanted to do another day of mechanics in his life.
Poor Gil. How did he end up being the go-to mechanics guy?
Gosh, okay. Well, Gil. All right, everyone into the front car. Kind of looks at the robot, wondering if he can understand what he's saying. Well, should be a switch, some sort of gizmo. Maybe this, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Oh yeah, unfortunately, Gil isn't able to punch in the correct code. You find that like it's a little more complicated than you thought it would be.
Okay, Doc's gonna
It's
try to
NPC.
do that
What?
with the athletic. Oh, it's the NPCs, right? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he'll just have to wait until after the robot acts.
Yeah.
Okay, so the robots it lurched forward, almost lost its footing, lost its maneuver. It then took a shot that deflected off its front panel and broke some rocks from overhead, which cascaded down onto it. It's really had a poor run of it, but it is braced, and it turns its head toward your group, and you see the protrusions, these growths moving back and forth in the breeze. Some of them on one of its shoulders merge together, and the little round tips all merge into one and sort of swell up into a pod that flings itself towards you guys. Let's see, who would it fling itself toward? So I think that's going to be Barl. So he's got the upgrade to, or it's got the upgrade to the difficulty and the one black die.
Go ahead and spin another story point. Go for it.
No. I'll hold on to it. Oh, it's a failure.
Oh, no. Yes.
So it can't activate its spore cloud. It can't hit you with its spore pod. Fortunately, this bulbous spore pod shoots past you and collides with the edge of the train and bounces off. And when it hits the wall, you see it explode in a cloud of orange floating detritus, which swirls around in the current of air from the train into the tunnel behind you. And Barl, it's your turn.
Okay, Barl's gonna try to do what Gil did with his mechanical aptitude using the athletics check. Hard.
That'll be a hard
Is-
check. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna use a story point.
It's the classic unhook the train maneuver you told us all about.
Yes, this is right.
I can't believe it's really happening.
Unhook the train attack.
And you all wondered why he always practiced these super obscure maneuvers.
Oh my
no.
god.
Wow.
And the string of bad luck continues. All right, 3
Well,
failures. So you're not able to get the train car unhooked, but you are left with 3 advantage.
Okay. Well, let's. I'm gonna give him a. What did I do? This. There we go. And then I'll give a blue die to the next PC.
So we're back around to the top of the round. Who will be that next PC?
I mean, Onyx can take it again, I suppose. I think, is the trains still going, right?
Yes, and you are fast approaching your destination. So I would say beginning of next round, on your next action, you will be at the entrance to where you're headed.
And if I stopped the train now, can Onyx tell if like we would be able to get off on foot and make it there quickly, or how fast is the train compared to how fast we would be on foot?
Yeah, sure. If you were to stop it now, you'd be at long range to the platform leading up to the control center.
Okay, so yeah, Onyx is gonna, I think, just attempt to stop the train, or perhaps first say, Captain, I suggest that we stop the train and fight off this robot before we reach our destination. May I do so?
Of course.
Bam, hits the brakes. Do I need to make any roll for that, or?
No, I think that's just a maneuver to slow the train.
Yeah. Okay, and then I can take a shot as my action as well, or would I have to spend strain to draw my weapon?
I think you'd need to spend 2 strain to draw your weapon.
All right, consider it done. Now, where's the new strain button? Okay, so yeah, and then Onyx will quickly unholster his stinger and take a shot at this robot. What range? I'm at short range?
Yes, you're at short range. It's not engaged with any of your friends.
Yep.
But when you select it, it should add 1 upgrade for adversary to the difficulty.
For sure. Okay, and should I use a story point? Should be fine. Shoot the robot.
Always sad when it's robot on robot violence.
You know what?
Hit this guy.
Oh my gosh. 1 advantage.
The game table is against you guys tonight.
Onyx didn't really want to shoot him, you know? He wants to study him. But,
Oh wait, you were supposed to have an advantage on a blue die.
Yeah,
was I?
Yeah.
you were. Yeah, you can just roll the blue die.
Okay. All right.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
Hey! That the inspiring
That wasn't for me.
use.
aren't you supposed to take credit for
Oh.
everything?
Who was that from?
Oh, that was from when I. Yeah. No, I think it was from when I kicked the connection between
Oh,
the
okay.
trains to try and.
So the
Jostled them.
inspiring use of the unhook train maneuver. Just learning about that, Onyx is inspired to shoot robots.
Seeing it in action.
Yeah, he wants to be part of the action too. He's always wanted to be part of the action. So how much damage does that do? It should.
5 with Pierce 2, I believe.
Yeah.
This overgrown Series 1 robot has a soak of 3, so that'll be 4 damage.
Nice.
And you're using a stinger, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's a jacketed metal dart that pierces the robot's chassis, knocking its shoulder back a bit, but it's still on its feet. Who would like to go next?
I was thinking about an action from you have the burner, right?
Yeah.
I was just wondering if I could, guess I'm asking the players and the GM, if I could flip a story point to find something that I could throw and coat the robot with, so it'd be flammable, more flammable. Maybe try to get some upgrades to the fire attempts.
Ooh.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think for a story point, Yeah, you could find a like sort of a canister of like lubricant or something like that.
What about the rubbing alcohol they had mentioned?
That's true. They do use it to clear the. They said they used isopropyl alcohol to clear this fungus. So yeah, pop the lid off as a maneuver, and then it would be a ranged light attack with a black die because it's an improvised weapon.
Duck. Duck.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What's the difficulty?
So it should short range. So it should just be one purple because it's got adversary one. It upgraded that purple die
Red.
to
Yeah.
a red.
Okay.
And this is a combat check, so you get that advantage too.
And I get the one advantage. Okay. Gotcha. Oh.
Oh man, yeah, 3 failures and 5 successes.
Okay. Spinning this into something. Wow. Okay. Well, let's.
So your goal was to douse it in flammable material. So that didn't
That did
succeed.
not succeed. What I'm gonna do? Could I use? How many advantages would it take for me to coat? Let's say who would be in front of me, Doc and Skipper, in the alcohol, so they get some kind of defense against the spore cloud.
You know, I really like that. I think that's an awesome idea. So let's just use 2 advantage for that.
Okay, awesome. And then I'll make it easy. I'll just heal 2 strain because I feel so great about actually getting into the action here, and pass 1 on to whoever's next.
Okay.
Oh, but sorry, boys. Sorry, I was aiming for the robot there.
Yeah, actually, Doc, when you yelled at Doc to duck, he didn't duck, and then he just got smashed with it.
And some of the splash ended up on the skipper.
On his nice coat.
Oh,
Oh well.
It'll evaporate quickly, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have another PC.
Skipper's gonna go ahead and go before the doc jumps over there and gets in the way.
yep.
Let's see. All right, go weapons tab. Use the burner, short range, robots. I'm not gonna do the advantage maneuver this time, so those past dice disappear. I'm going to go ahead and aim and take a second maneuver again to aim. So, would you like to do anything to the roll?
No.
I
Oh,
haven't
there
seen
you
it.
go.
Oh, only one advantage.
But 4 successes. Oh, you wanted to trigger that burn, huh?
So that's 10 damage,
Nice.
and I'll pass a boost. Only one person to pass it to, so it's easy.
All right. Well, with the robot soak of 3, that's 7 damage. The burner plays across the robot's body, and you see everywhere it touches, this bacterial mat or fungus or whatever it is burned away, drifting off in the remaining current of air from the train that's still catching up with you guys as it's come to a stop. And the robot itself seems to lurch back and forth as you damage this growth. It's looking pretty poorly. You've damaged some of its circuits as well as whatever it is that's growing on it. But it does get to act. It's going to lurch forward and attack you, Skipper.
Got it.
As it does, the one patch of this mat that hasn't been burned like rises up out of the robot's body and seems to draw substance from in some sort of store inside the robot. It's like swings a pseudopod down upon you.
Yeah. Let's just go ahead and upgrade that.
Heard that.
Is he gonna upgrade back at me?
No, I'm going to save those for something else.
Another giant explosion.
Oh, it's a miss
Yes.
with 2 advantages and a despair.
Jeez.
Despair.
All right, those 2 advantages, because you're having to like swing away and dodge its attacks, it'll add a black die to your next check. Should that come up, Skipper? What would you guys like to do with that despair?
Did it have to? Was it on one train, on the second train, and Skipper was on the first train still? So it kind of had to come across to.
Exactly that, yeah.
So could there be something about maybe it dislodged the train cars? Or I don't know if that would be a despair.
Well, what do you think of this? It actually has 1 wound level left, and it is moving across the little gap between these train cars. How would you feel about it losing its footing and falling between the train cars?
Yeah, that would.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Cool. And while the train has been stopped, the intense magnets are still active below.
Oh,
So the robot is sucked up tightly against
Right.
the bottom of the train. And you hear the crunch of metal and the scream of gears and the sparking of electrical arcs, and then stillness from below.
I like the sound of that.
Pala, they are going to do something about the psychoses in the series 2, yes.
Was that's a series 1. I mean, they have not completed.
Yes, I'm suggesting that as an improvement for the series 2.
Well, I know. I don't think it's fair to try to blame what's going on here on the manufacturing process.
That's a rather tight warranty you must have then.
I would think that this kind of environmental hazard probably voids the warranty.
I think that it's good that the robot got the orange crushed out of it.
Oh, Captain, another good one.
Another zinger. Good one, Captain.
Bazinga.
So a short amount of tunnel ahead of you, and then you can see the glow of the next platform.
We need to sneak up on this. I mean, they probably heard that fight if there's people there or robots there. But if we sneak up, maybe we can get a small advantage.
I think that's a good idea. I think seems safe. Seems like sensible.
So stealth checks, success on a stealth check means that you, the person making the check, can approach undetected. And then for every additional success after the first, you can bring along one person.
Is anyone good at stealth?
I don't think so.
Well, I've got three base agility.
How close to a swamp are we?
I'm at 3 green.
Three green as well. Lead on, Captain.
Okay, so the difficulty for this stealth check is actually 2 red and 1 purple.
Oof.
That's a tough one.
But we don't know that, so it doesn't make sense that we wouldn't try to sneak
There's
up.
nothing wrong with trying.
So so
Now the field meter gives me blue die on perception and vigilance. Could it be used to help with the stealth?
After I fixed it, for sure. Does everything now.
Try it.
I mean, since you aren't making the stealth check, I think using the field meter to essentially do an assistance maneuver to add a blue die, I think that would work.
Okay, so it was 2 red, 1 purple, and then the black I had
Yeah, what was the black from?
the last attack.
Well, you know what? As combat ended, I think so. That would just be within that.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, you guys, if you'd like, you can make discipline or cool checks to regain strain.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Wow.
Whoa.
So you guys have done a very good job of calming yourselves back down again.
Is our pal coming with us?
Oh yeah, right. If you want him to. You guys want me to just stay here with the train? Although I don't know. One of those robots could leap back out again, try to take me away.
If we don't get in a fight, we can call you forward.
All right, I'll hang back.
Here goes nothing. Wow.
Nice.
Nice.
Wow.
All right. So for those, so success means you yourself can move forward quietly, and then the additional success means you can bring one person along with you. And then I think for 2 advantage, I'd be willing to say that could be a 3rd person.
Sounds good.
So who is staying back?
I think given Paolo's condition, maybe with him, call us up if there's trouble. Just help keep him.
So you move forward along the railroad up to the next platform, which is pretty well lit. Gil and your friend Pathala stay in the shadows around the edge of the platform while Doc, Skipper, and Onyx make their way up onto the compressed regolith. And then you see a passageway leading upward, and it's a short walk up to the edge of the control room. The hatch there is open. And looking in, you see Controller Sekima, as well as 2 other technicians, perfectly still.
That's creepy. What is going on here? He whispers. Doc whispers.
Holy.
Onyx attempts to use like hand signs because he's not capable of whispering. But you guys don't know what he's saying.
Well, only one way to go. Find out. And sneak on up, I guess, until we get to a point where we can make a perception check or a vigilance check.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think at this point, so you've kind of crossed through the threshold into the control room. Give me an average perception check.
I would recommend Onyx or Doc for that. And
Perhaps the doc,
I can do that.
because Onyx is just looking around the room, taking everything in and processing it, and not actually being perceptive because
Can I have the blue dice from my field meter that it gives on perceptions?
Yes.
And you said average?
Yes, average perception.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
not.
Let's see, how would this work? So what was the goal of this perception check? Just to get a read on what's happening in this room?
Yeah, what is going on with those people?
All you get back are 3 humanoid life signs from the immediate vicinity, and no further reading at the moment. What do you think about those 2 advantage?
Well, so you said that there was still some noises coming from instrumentation and whatnot in the room?
Yes, definitely. So like these various control stations are, they're controlling the whole facility from this room.
Is there anything, could I use those advantages to learn anything about what's happening with the controls or with the actual station? Like I noticed in my scans that, and just looking something about,
Yeah.
I could learn something about.
All right, I've got an idea here for those 2 advantage. So you're looking around the room. You're not getting any unusual readings from the 3 individuals here, and so you kind of turn your attention to the machinery of the room, and then you notice against the far wall where some sort of alcove, maybe to access one of the larger processing units in the room, like some material has been shifted, like a loose panel was shifted to cover a space, to kind of obscure sort of an alcove on one side of the room. And from the angle, the video that you would have seen earlier when you would have seen Sakima on the monitor, this would have been behind them.
Okay. Well, Captain Onyx, I don't know. Everything seems fairly normal, but the only odd thing I can spot in here is that panel behind there, and yeah, I'm not sure.
Well,
We should just go in and talk to them or come in guns blazing.
There is something strange about the fact that they do not seem to be troubled by what our friend was troubled by.
yeah.
I suggest we talk to them. And Onyx looks at the captain like,
Yeah, let's do it. You give
let's go.
I think the hand was kind of forced there, right? Because you said earlier Onyx can't whisper.
Yep.
Yeah, Onyx just said that.
Yep, he would nod anyway, but he nods and then grabs both guns and pulls both of them.
So from the angle that you were at, these people were sort of in profile, and at Onyx's words, they turn toward you. They don't stand. They just kind of turn their little wheelie chairs a little bit so they have a better angle.
They're all in like rolling chairs, and they all turn their rolling chairs.
Yeah, it's really creepy because they move in unison.
Okay.
And before, they were just perfectly still. And as they turn toward you, they maintain that. But Sakima does speak, and they say, "Welcome. I'm so glad you could join us." And you hear a bump and a rattle from that bit of paneling that's obscuring the place across the room, and it tips forward.
Flip 4 GM points.
Yeah, that's fair. I will spend 2 to have this happen.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, just to sort of have them enter the combat ready to go. So you see a creature behind this paneling that falls forward. It looks like everything that you've seen before with this growth, this sort of fungus-like bacterial mat body shape is accentuated and exaggerated with this creature that you see. It's got tentacles that protrude from its body. 2 of them have long, grasping thorn or teeth-like protrusions. It has another that looks almost like a mushroom cap that's sort of swinging in front of the mass of the creature, almost like protectively. And then you also see 3 bulbous, clear sort of sacs at the end of tentacle-like protrusions. And inside those sacs, it's undeniable, they're human brains. And then the 3 people sitting at their consoles stand up, and their vacant eyes lose focus. And you can see sort of tendrils of orangish growth protruding from the backs of their bodies, leading back toward this creature at the other side of the room. Let's roll initiative.
Yeah, no shit.
So you guys get to roll cool.
Should Gil do it, or you have to wait to be contacted, right, and just start hopping down the hall?
No, I think you can roll it too.
Okay.
I think I've rolled 4 successes on every initiative.
Yeah. Holy crap. Dang, we're the fastest crew in the West. Look at this.
Well, once again, the PCs have all rolled really well. So there'll be 4 PC slots before the NPCs get to act. Who would like to go first?
Gavin will. He's going to go ahead and use coordinating assault and catch Doc and Onyx with advantages. He already has his guns out. He's going to go ahead and use both weapons and aim at the budding absorber. So that's going to increase the difficulty by 1. It's short range.
Let's see. It's on the other side of this control room. I feel as though it is at medium.
Well, then I will take a maneuver to get to short range.
Get up amongst them husks, yo.
And you know what? I'm just going to pull the one gun, just the burner. And short range, that looks like the correct dice. I will spend 1 maneuver. Nope, I have no maneuvers to spend. And we're at 3. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade. So I got 3 yellows, a red, and 2 blacks. Sound correct?
It does. Oh, man.
Holy crap.
I mean, those difficulty dice all came through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're left with 2 failures and 2 advantage.
I think my advantages are that the husks. Man, I think I'm the only one with a burner.
Yeah, so that, I mean, I think as you fire your burner at it, because those 2 setback dice came in so strong, it slides its protective cap in front of itself, and so your burner plays across it, and it lights it up. I mean, it singes it, but the thickness of it just keeps it from, and the wetness of it keeps it from catching.
I think he has a new favorite gun. 2 advantage. I think the shield, the metal plate heats up enough that it drops it afterwards and won't have it.
That totally works. Yeah, so it as you're saying, like it
to disarm for the most part.
Yeah, the heat of it, yeah, it wilts and like moves to the floor. You can see like tendrils pulsing, leading to this cap of a shield, restoring its vitality, but it won't have it for the rest of this room.
Okay, cool.
We have another PC slot.
Doc is raring to go. He also, I think, wants to know where are the exits and whatnot in this room. Not sure if that would be like an action for his turn to or if we already knew that. If where we're coming in.
Yeah, I'll say where you came in, obviously that was one entrance, and then at an angle to you is where this beastie came out of the wall, and then sort of triangularly there's across the room there is another exit out of this room, but where it goes you're not sure.
We would be able to tell, but yeah, okay.
I mean, you could do some kind of roll, but that would be your action.
Yeah. Okay. I think Doc yells out. I can yell out as incidental, right?
Sure.
It just yells out to Gil, we need you up here. And then he uses a maneuver to engage with the husks, moves up into them, and then I think I need to use another maneuver. It would cost me 2 strain to use my defensive stance talent.
Okay.
Which I can spend a maneuver on to upgrade the difficulty of them attacking me, and then I'll attack them with fury of palms to the face, and I have the advantage.
Oh man.
Oof.
Jesus.
0 successes and 4 advantages.
4 advantages though. He's so badass. It's the brain squishing technique he kept telling us about.
The unfortunate thing is these husks have had their brains harvested.
Yeah, that's right.
Damn.
So I couldn't actually just pulverizing their heads, but they're not.
There's nothing in
There's no reaction. Shoot. Okay, well, let's give them a black die with 2 of those advantages, and I will pass a blue die to the next person, and I will heal 1 strain.
Okay. So who will the next person be?
Onyx could go next, just because it makes sense. Gil's just coming into the room as Onyx is charging in. Can I get it? I'm not exactly sure what this control room looks like. Like, is it it's like a room, and it's sort of higher up so that it can send signals, or like a tower of sorts? Or
Yeah. Well, so it is just a control room, like one you might find, like the central hub of a subway station, or maybe a control tower in an airport. But it's not elevated above the ground. But you do see all sorts of control panels in here. One is definitely a communications panel which would access the dish, which allowed them to talk to you guys when you were aboard your ship. Another panel would control the maglev. You've got life support. You've got all of your standard systems for a base like this.
Right. And is there any way I could make it to any of those panels, or are they?
Yeah, no, yeah, I would say they're pretty much all within short range of you.
The panels are.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, perhaps it's time to contact the ship. I don't know if that would be a possibility to do in the middle of this combat, but they are sort of distracted with Skipper and Doc here, so
Yeah, I would even say that moving over to the communications panel or workstation and then activating it, I mean, that would be one maneuver to get there and one maneuver to activate it.
okay. Sure. Yeah, so and then I would need I could use my action as a maneuver to do that.
Yeah, if you want to downgrade it to avoid spending strain, yeah, totally.
Because I suppose I could take a shot as well on my way there. Yeah, whatever. I've got the strain to spend, so I'll move over there and activate the. Well, first he's gonna say to Gil as Gil comes in. I don't think this is one of your negotiation tactics. And then he runs over to the control panel and he boots it up. And as it's booting up, his head and arms spin around his body, and boom, he takes a shot.
Awesome. All right, you're shooting at the absorber, I assume.
Yeah, I'll shoot at the absorber. The husks are whatever. That brain thing, that's weird. Onyx has not seen it before, and anything Onyx hasn't seen, he is afraid of. Whatever robot fear may be. And so difficulty is...
It's going to be a short range from this point, because you've moved up into the control panel region.
Going to be a tricky one, but worth a shot.
That's a hit.
2 successes and a threat.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah. That's 6 Pierce 2 coming at Mr. Absorber.
All right. It's got a soak of 3, so that will be 5 points of damage.
Very nice. And yeah, that one threat you wanted to spend.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense that because you're dividing your attention, you've moved rapidly, you're engaging in activities you weren't necessarily programmed for, you're going to take a strain.
It's not like the simulations. And so when I activate that panel to speak to the ship, is that still sort of booting up? And it'll be around next turn, or
no? I would say that it's just a matter of like you could send a message.
Okay, yeah. Onyx is gonna send a message up to the ship, and so is that part of that maneuver, or
yes, definitely the part of the maneuver.
Okay.
Because speaking is an incidental more or less, depending on what you're doing. But like I think activating the panel and like sending a short message, it's all part of a maneuver.
Okay. So yeah, so he's gonna send a message up to the ship to send down the second best pilot in good old Jackpot, because our previous method of transportation has been delayed indefinitely.
So I love that, but I will say that Jackpot was an unfortunate foreshadow of something that's going to come up later.
Wait, I thought there was 2 different.
There are two shuttles, but Jackpot is not the name of the other one. But if you think of a you take your time, but think of a similarly themed to Siren and Nereid, which of course is referencing Greek mythology and sort of sea gods. So if you can think of another shuttle name in that vein.
Starfish? That's not Greek mythology related.
Did you say fish?
You said starfish.
Oh, sure.
Fish.
It could be a starfish. Why not?
Fish. I like fish.
Send down the fish. What's the Greek word for fish?
Yeah.
It's probably like pesca or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Pisces, just Pisces, yeah.
The Pisces.
Ooh, Pisces. There you go.
I like that.
Love it. Okay, well, so Gil, you've heard people yell from up above, or you heard the doc yell that they need you. Moving up into that room would just take one maneuver.
Before I leave out, incidentally, Pala, looks like it's time for more aggressive negotiations. You're welcome to stay here, or you can come along and see what all the fuss is about.
Oh, no. I'll be staying here. I mean, that's just not I'm sure you'll be fine without me.
Well, best of luck. I'll be right back. And then even though I know you said it was close, I'm going to use my hop maneuver anyway.
Oh, nice.
Just hop up the tunnel and take in this.
Oh, yeah. So wait, what does hop let you do?
I think it just that one extra band.
Okay, so you can have some medium, basically, right?
Yep.
Well, if you'd like, you could place yourself anywhere in the room.
That would be awesome. He just
I just am sailing in.
Just out of nowhere, like Ninja Frog just comes in. Wow.
Except for the jumping part is the only ninja thing about Kill. Yeah, I'll jump in and I'll fire the the stun gun at the husks. See if that helps.
So they are engaged with the dock, so that'll upgrade the difficulty to 1 red.
Captain, we're all going to have a discussion about customer relations at a later date.
They couldn't pay.
That's true. That does disqualify them from customer status, does it not? Oh, that's an upgrade, right? So 1 red.
Yes, that's correct. Oh,
Oh, I didn't do it through the weapon. It's 6 stun.
ooh, nice. So 7 altogether. It's got a soak of 3. Okay, so that pulse of, well, I guess it's like a spreading beam of energy from your stunner courses across the creature's body. And you see, like, it has these 3 sort of sacks containing human brains inside. One of them sort of like falters and goes limp, just kind of plopping onto the compressed regolith, but it still stands.
So much for my grand entrance. Have at it, gentlemen.
I mean, you've done better than most.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So first we'll have the husks attack the dock since they're all engaged.
Have the defensive stance.
So that's going to upgrade the difficulty once.
Yeah.
And so similarly to what you've seen with that overgrown robot below, there's sort of like a seam down the back of these husks that rips open, and pseudopods come writhing out, and they swing them at the dock, and they miss.
Yay!
2 advantages.
Dang.
Doc, you're going to get a black die as you have to dip, dodge, dive, and dip.
Defend.
And now we're onto the budding absorber. It's going to shamble forward. It's also going to close with the dock. It likes what it sees, and it wants it to be a part of itself. So that stance, that defensive stance, will upgrade all attacks, right?
Yeah, I think it's all melee combat. Yeah, it says melee combat. I don't know if that is.
Yes.
Yeah, targeting until my character's next turn. Yeah.
Awesome.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's a big hit. It rolled 5 successes. That's a total of 12 damage. But it did get 1 threat and a despair.
Wow, what an exciting roll.
So it was 12, so 9.
Yes. So 12 minus your soak. That's a big hit for the doc. But fortunately, the doc has a lot of wounds. 15 wounds. What? Why is the doctor the biggest tank in the party?
He totally is.
Toughened animalistic alien.
Okay, all right. Just don't take another hit like that one.
Nope. No, thank you, sir.
What are you thinking with the threat and the despair there?
Oh yeah, threat and despair.
What does the attack look like?
Okay,
what
so
does it actually do to it?
yeah, so it's got these tentacly pseudopody protrusions. 2 of them have whitish thorn-like or claw-like protrusions, and it rakes one down across the doctor's body, trying to find purchase. It's worming its way up toward the back of his head with the ultimate goal of removing his brain, leaving bloody marks along the way.
So I think the threat could be just a strain on him, or yeah, right. Can I do that with 1 threat?
Absolutely.
And he's lashed this thing on my back. And can I do with despairs in combat? Is there like mechanical things?
Oh, there's a whole table for that.
There's mechanical things, but maybe you have all those spikes and stuff. It could cut itself on you.
Yeah, I think upgrading the difficulty of his next check is fine if I can do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can go ahead and pass that upgrade on. So it's as it like works its way up toward the back of your head, like what you like pinch its pseudopod under your arm in like a classic defensive martial arts move.
Yep, something like that, or between 2. I want to somehow get its pseudopod between 2 hard parts of my body, jammed like one hand and my knee or something like that, restricting its movement.
All right, and that's going to make it very difficult, whatever it wants to do next. Back around to the top of the round, a PC goes first.
So my advantages don't disappear until I go next. So if I go at the end of the round, you guys still have them.
Oh, I still have an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
This is a sulfur mining facility, right?
That's right.
Is there like the mine itself is far away from here, or do we know?
Yeah, you can see a huge map on the wall, which sort of lays out the facility. And there's a series of mines that sort of encircle the facility. The closest one is not far at all, like maybe 100 meters away.
Okay. Yeah. Onyx is calculating what it would take to get a large amount of sulfur onto this thing and then burn it. That's what's going through his processor right now. And as a human being, me personally, I don't know exactly how I would do that, but I want it to happen because I think it would be cool. So, is it possible Onyx could find some cargo somewhere or something like that if I spent a story point or?
Yeah, I mean this to me sounds like an interaction with one of these terminals.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's a genius idea. Is there like a forklift or like a crane?
So thinking about the way you might interact, you could do potentially a computers check or a mechanics check, or some of this heavy machinery might require operation.
Yeah, my thought was like if there's a crane that carries cargo, could I crash said cargo into this room?
Yeah, that wouldn't be
Is that
dangerous at
possible?
all for the people inside.
Yeah.
I think first you might need to. I'll tell you what. If you spend a story point,
Yep. Okay.
you can interact with the panel and get some important information.
All right. It is worth it. I know I'm asking a lot here, but I'm trying to make it happen.
No,
All
yeah,
right.
I dig it. You've only got 2 left too, so it's vital.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So you were already on the communications panel, and just to your right, you realize that it's the operations station for the mining facility.
Yep.
And so you quickly slide over,
Okay.
and there's several of these bulbous monitors set into this station, and they're displaying security footage from different places. One of them shows you the manufacturing facility for robots.
Yeah.
And you can see row after row of upgraded Series 2 robots waiting for the appropriate parts to activate them. And you can also see strings of the orangish growth going from one to the next. And then on the next monitor, you can see the mine, like the big mine, a big central chamber of a huge sulfur mine. And covering every surface in this mine is the growth.
Holy crap.
You can see robots moving back and forth across it, all of them covered with the mat, the bacterial mat. And I mean, you can't even get a count. Dozens, maybe hundreds of these budding absorbers undulating and crawling across the cavern floor, each of them with human brains in their bulbous sacs, and a sea of husks milling about around these absorbers.
Crap and a half. Okay.
Onyx says that. Crap and a half.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think Onyx is gonna turn to the crew and that is in the room right now, and he's gonna say, "We are grossly outnumbered. I think our primary directive should be to escape this facility at all costs. I don't think there is anything here for us now. I suggest highly that we escape this facility as soon as we can." And then he moves towards the door.
Okay, so I'll say that what you just did required one maneuver.
Okay.
Moving from one panel to the next and activating it. You are left with an action.
Yeah, actually, before I make that maneuver, is there like doors I can close to keep all these things from being anywhere near us?
I think looking up at that map, you see that the other exit out of this control room leads across catwalks that travel over the construction facility for the robots.
Yep.
And then past that huge mine and to Shuttle Bay Beta.
Okay. And so if just like calculating our path to that extra shuttle bay, what would we run? Would we run into any trouble based on what I can see on the monitors?
You would have a very scary run across catwalks, but no obvious immediate threat.
Okay. Yeah. I think he might just spend his action to take another maneuver out of the room and see what's if there's anything out immediately outside.
Fair enough. So what does everybody see happen?
I think what everybody sees happen is Barl's just been attacked by this monster, and it like is tearing a chunk of flesh off of him, and also getting cut into pieces by his bone protrusions. Everyone's just come into the room. That happens, and then Onyx is off to the side looking at these monitors. He spins around and like full volume out of his vocoder, he's like, "We need to get the hell out of here right now. we are grossly outnumbered. They're everywhere. They're all around us, and they're going to eat us, and they're going to turn us into brain sacks. And then he just like, oh, actually, you know what? I don't know. Did it cost a maneuver to do that? But I have those heal rockets, and I feel like
He's going to activate his heal rockets. Okay, yeah.
he activates
No,
his heal rockets and hightails it out of the room.
All right. So I think to activate the rockets would take a second maneuver.
Okay.
And then to exit the narrow passageway out of the room would take a dangerous driving roll.
Oh, for real?
Well, I mean, you're trying
Okay.
to shoot yourself out a narrow passage. But
Yeah, sure.
But it's just an average check because with the heal rockets activated, you essentially become a Silhouette 2 vehicle.
Okay. I'm down for it.
And no upgrade for difficulty because you're traveling at speed 1.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
no.
Backs straight into the wall.
All right. So that, I mean, I'm sorry. I know this is a bit silly, but in all seriousness, I think it makes sense that Onyx was just completely panicked by what
Yep.
he saw.
Yep. No, that's great.
Right. So he activates his heal rockets. He tries to flee as quickly as possible.
Yep.
Slams into the wall.
Yep.
So that's going to be a collision from short range or a fall from short range.
All right.
So it's 10 damage, 10 strain.
Holy shit.
The damage can be soaked.
Oh.
So whatever you're soaked.
Can the strain be soaked?
The strain cannot, but advantages on the
Okay.
roll can be applied to strain.
That's good because otherwise Onyx just knocks himself out.
He comes close.
Which might be hilarious, but I'm gonna not do that.
That was amazing. That was wow.
Okay, so who would like to take the second action in the round?
I would like to go last.
Well, I have an incidental thing out, so I might as well go next.
Yeah.
Gil will see glance over the monitors and what panicked Onyx so much. See what's going on, absorb it, and say, "Well, I guess that tears it." And he sadly pulls out the purchase order and starts ripping it up. And then I'm gonna take the stun ray and blast the putty absorber again because it seemed to work last time.
Awesome.
So it's adversary upgraded, and that's it, right? Or is it black? I had a black dice last time. Sorry, I'm forgetting why.
Oh, you know what? It's defensive qualities come back into effect this round.
Yeah. Okay.
Oof. So Gil, I have something you might want to do with that advantage.
I'm all ears.
All right, you've got this stun ray that you're firing, and it fires wide, unfortunately, but it wipes across a series of control panels along the wall and deactivates them because it's like all stun damage. There's a fizzle and like a arc of electricity running all up and down the side of this wall here, and false panel pops open, and a cascade of souls fall and clatter onto the deck. There's a safe here, a hidden safe, a lot of money.
I guess it's not all lost, gentlemen. I'll move towards it.
Leap at it.
Who would like to go next?
I can go. Mark, you wanted Gavin to go last, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So because I still,
Yeah.
so you'll also have that advantage. I will. I think Doc wants to get the hell out of here now too. So maybe I think he's gonna do a defensive stance again. Well, maybe not. Maybe it'll take cost. Yeah, defensive stance.
You do a punch and run.
Yeah, I think a punch and run. Yeah, so I'll follow Onyx, or where Onyx was intending to go, towards that other bay. But I'll do that attack first on the husks.
On the husks or the budding absorber,
the absorber,
which is
yeah, the absorber's on me.
Engaged,
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to.
No, that's good. Yep. And an upgraded difficulty.
That's right.
Why did?
Because he has adversary.
Oh, he's adversary, right? I'm just thinking about whether to use that last story point. It's looking like a lot of black dice. What do you guys think? Should I save it? What Leave it? Use it?
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it. No time like the present.
Okay.
Yes. Oh.
God.
Wow. Triumph. Okay. So it's
Man, 2 failures, 2 advantage, and 1 triumph.
okay. Okay, so I do not hit. The 2 advantages. Can I pass 2 blue die to the next PC?
You can pass 1 along to the next PC for 1 advantage.
And I'll
Heal a strain.
heal a strain.
And then that triumph.
So I think there's some clean solution on the shelf that
Nice.
didn't get cleaned off yet.
Yep. Some alcohol, just in our struggles, like me trying to brain this thing, and it
falls in the husks, so you're not actually damaging the.
the some vast amount of alcohol dumps onto the husks.
Yeah. So you lurch sideways into like a storage shelf.
Yeah.
And it's just loaded up with isopropyl alcohol. It tips over and pours down the budding absorber and splashes over on these husks as well.
And then I run out the door.
Okay, so that's you're using 1 maneuver to
Yep.
move out of engaged range over toward that doorway, right?
Yep.
Okay. Skipper, you're the last one to go in the round.
Okay, so man, we offered that guy to come with, and he didn't.
Oh man, he's still down there in the tunnel.
No.
Well, what's 1 more husk?
Jesus.
I know, that's horrible.
Would Gavin try to go after him?
This is not going to help our Yelp rating.
What was his name again?
Pala.
Pala?
You talking to me? I can just barely hear you.
Grimy little hands through this room before it's not distracted. And then he unloads on the budding absorber. I'm going to spend 1 maneuver to aim and another. No, I can't. I'm going to save 1 to run. What I get?
Oh, you succeeded
With 3 advantages.
I'm going to activate burn with 2 of those advantages. And I'm going to heal a strain.
With all that isopropyl alcohol, what's the burn quality on that?
Burn 2.
Burn 2. So that would last for 2 rounds.
So it will take 7 damage.
Yeah.
The next 2
At the
rounds.
beginning of each round, yeah. However, let's see. So 7 damage minus 3 for its soak. So because it's covered in all that isopropyl alcohol, we'll apply the first round of burn this round.
Okay.
Which is enough damage to kill this budding absorber.
Are the husks affected as well, or
They are. As this creature is killed, the lines of yellowish growth that lead out from the bottom of its body and up into these husks pulsates and quickly withdraws, and these husks collapse onto the ground.
So I would like to say that the fire just burns into them, and then you can see smoke billowing out of their mouths and eyes and nose as it dies.
Oh yeah. The flames travel up the connecting pathways up into the husks.
Yes, and yeah, he's just going to yell for them to hurry up, and he's gonna wait for him to run through. It's down. Go, go, go.
Wow, what a captain. Okay, so Pathala comes up the staircase and takes one look at this room, and his face goes white. He can't believe what he's seeing. He stumbles forward and kind of collapses against your side, Captain.
There's no time to stick around. We gotta go. If you think this is scary, we're gonna see much worse. And I'll
take him over to the console and show him the.
No, we're about to run over the catwalk.
I was just gonna do inspiring rhetoric, but
Oh yeah.
That is
we
inspiring
can do it. We can do it. You can make it through.
Anyone who'd like to can roll to regain strain. That's discipline or cool with no difficulty.
Gil's gonna grab as much money as he can before he has to run behind these guys.
Okay, so you're scooping up hundreds of souls at a time. Then you look up into the safe and see that there's like bound souls, like into stacks of 1,000. And so just after, say, a round, gathering up, you would estimate, you've got about 20,000 souls stuffed into your suit.
Holy shit.
Well, I suppose that'll do nicely. Wait up, gentlemen. Wait up.
We could find somewhere else to sell what we've still got.
This is like a double.
Pass it out among everybody so you don't slow us down.
Oh, of course. I'm not hiding it.
You're not going to try to do a skullduggery check to conceal what you've got?
No.
Okay.
No first edition thief action.
Okay, so the group exits the control room. The captain is supporting Pathala under the arm, holding him tight against him as you guys move out onto the catwalk that overlooks the robot manufacturing facility. Below you, you see row after row of Series 2 robots in the darkness, waiting for the parts that they'll never arrive. You make your way to the end of that catwalk and then through a passageway, and now you are out into the huge mining chamber. Below you is a sea of the most disturbing sight you've ever seen, as a writhing mat of fungus or whatever this thing is coils around the feet of hundreds of husks and dozens of these absorbers. As you make your way across this catwalk, it's maybe 60, 70 meters. You're all running full out. A huge pseudopod rises from the floor and strikes at the catwalk, spending 3 of my story points. So everyone make either a athletics or coordination check. Average.
Hey, Ryle,
Yes.
what do I get for having rocket boots?
I think you can upgrade your check.
All right.
Is it against no difficulty or?
It's an average difficulty.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And I'm going to spend 1 more story point to upgrade it once. This huge pseudopod's rising up and striking the catwalk, and so it's going to be 1 red, 1 purple. You can either make a athletics or coordination check.
Well, let's go one at a time so we can pass.
Oh yeah. So Gil, take a strain as you keep your footing and keep running. Onyx, take a strain as your rocket boots ignite and you go careening across the platform, across the catwalk.
And then Doc Barrel goes next. There we go.
There we go. Hey.
Yeah.
The last person gets the advantage.
Oh man. All right, so what does this look like as you guys make it through the hatch at the other end of this long catwalk?
I feel like the catwalk should be like completely destroyed behind us by the end.
Yeah.
That would be my
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, all silhouetted in like against the wall with these explosions twisting our shadows. This big tentacle, maybe like Onyx is like flying by it. Gil leaps off a collapsing catwalk onto the tentacle, hastily panicking and flying off of that to just catch on to the other side.
Leap
And
off.
And I caught. But my advantage was that I caught
Pathala.
Pathala as he was falling. Oh, just come on!
Thank you, Captain.
The captain had paused to save this lost soul, and Doc jumped through just after leapt off the catwalk, and a couple of rolls and landing in anime style ninja pose at the end.
And when it really mattered, when it really counted, you all made your roll.
We did.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I do believe I found a use for those 4 missiles that we
Yeah.
recovered from that ship.
So we
Oh, you guys made plenty of profit.
Yeah.
restocked, plus all our cargo still to sell somewhere else.
Oh, yes.
As you guys enter this shuttle bay, you see ahead of you that the accordion-like dock is attached to another saucer craft with the name Jackpot emblazoned upon the side. Sliding into it, Onyx takes the control panel. The rest of the crew fills their normal positions on the shuttle. Your new crewmate, Pathala, slides into his seat, looking wide-eyed at the rest of you as the shuttle takes off and you return to the Nereid's wake.
Now, Pathala, you'll love it. You got to remember 3 simple letters for success on this ship.
ABC.
Always be
kind.
Kind with a C?
I thought that was a good point for the fade out on Gil.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for playing tonight. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, thank you. That was fantastic. Thanks for
Yeah.
DMing for 5 hours. He was doing a really good job. All the prep stuff and everything. That was great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
My pleasure. Well, I hope you all have a good night, and I hope anyone listening was entertained.